CTM. That was ages ago. But that's what we have for you tonight. It is a best of 5. We'll remind you, 5 maps. I know a lot of you that are watching here are used to Pro League best of 1. It's completely different. Here,
it's the opposite, really.
Yeah. Here, it's all about how much can you sustain. There's a stamina throughout the whole best of 5, but also there's overtime. It's still standard best of 3 overtime that we're used to. And you'll see our first 2 maps are going to be banned. Consulate and Villa. Neither of these teams will be playing these.
Only 7 maps, so you got to play the rest.
Yep, and we'll start off on Border. We'll go to Coastline, then to Oregon, Clubhouse, and Bank. Honestly, I look at this, and I see Border wasn't too hot for IDK when they played Orglis. However, they lost it because it was 6-0, actually.
Yeah.
Because Orglis outplayed them during it. It's not that IDK didn't do too well on it. Coastline, okay map for them as well, but it's still an okay map for Edenity.
Yeah, some of these, they've played a bit more than Edenity, but some of these Edenity have also played very well on. I mean, it was a 6-2 in favor of IDK once they played Vitality on it, but it was definitely a case where, you know, Vitality, we've seen them do really good on Border and do really poorly on Border, so it's been up and down. But either way, we haven't seen Edenity on all of these, but we've definitely seen IDK on all of these maps throughout the qualifiers. Now, obviously, not all those qualifiers were casted, so some of those you just had to kind of go back and look at the scoreline, things like that. So, you know, not everything was broadcasted, but we do have all the scores here. And it was definitely a lot of matches very heavily in favor of IDK, as well as Identity's matches, which, while they started in the lower bracket, definitely did not deserve to be there, I would say, based off the way they played. Yeah,
another team for me to highlight as well through the qualifiers is Motion Gaming. I mentioned them as the 2nd best Finnish team. They beat Ents. They moved through. They only lost, I believe, to Identity. No, they were in the other side of the bracket. Because Vitality lost to Edenity, but Motion Gaming reached very, very far into the qualifiers. And honestly, as a team that hasn't had a lot of time to show themselves in Challenger League, etc., it's pretty exciting seeing teams that I myself had the pleasure to cast back when I was still doing Nordic Championship, and you know they performed pretty well. Yeah. So seeing them here, it's always a breath of fresh air. There's EU, and even nowadays in North America and in Latin America, you always have to be afraid for your spot. No matter how good you are, Pro League or offline tournaments or whatever, always make sure that you never underestimate your opponents. Because you saw what happened with EG at Austin, you saw what happened with Vitality against Mocket at the French Nationals, and you saw what is going down in Pro League as well. It's definitely
especially true in EU, I would say.
And it's definitely not scorelines that we're used to seeing, and honestly, it's a breath of fresh air. You have to stay on your toes and make sure no matter how big you are as a team, you can still consistently perform well week in, week out.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, we saw that even with NA, the way we saw Obey come back from the losers bracket. So that was fantastic as well. And a shout out to Xbox Master Race as well for not making it past their first match. So good job, guys. But it has been an interesting set of qualifiers. I mean, unfortunately, like I said, not all of it casted, so not all of it visible. I mean, there was a variety of community casters, yourself and Taro. Unfortunately, I didn't have a time to catch one, but there was definitely a lot of matches.
Especially with the EU matches, a lot of things were done either in French, in German, or in English. Not everything was casted in English because I think I was the only one that did matches that were in English, and then we had Farconer and Dinero, the French casters, who were doing in French, and then you had also the German broadcast that did a couple matches of their own, of course, with I don't think Verdi himself was doing it, but I think Shatter and Agony were helping around with it. So it's definitely
check out those guys' VODs as well.
Yeah.
Follow them and stuff.
There's a lot of information to be had out there if you look for it. It's not too complicated to find. But that aside, you put all of our qualifier info in our back pocket for just a second. We head into Border, our first map in this best of 5 between our 2 European teams. IDK, Reddit's favorites, and of course their opponents Edenity, who also have surprised everybody making it here.
Now I'm curious on this because both teams, when they played this map, both planned Glaz and Mira. So Edenity, knowing that, knowing they don't need to ban Glaz themselves, going to leave that to I don't know, and they're going to take Lion off the board for something we've been seeing a lot more during these qualifiers. I think it is teams used to, or at the beginning of the season, we're like, whatever, Lion's nerfed, now he's fine. They've just decided, you know what, he's not so fine. He's going to get banned a lot by both these teams, although Ying as well is one that I would expect potentially from I don't know.
Yeah, however, IDK's ban on Ying was mostly targeted at Hungary when they were playing against Orcus.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely.
And this was the one map that they let that ban slip, and they paid dearly for it. It was a 6-0 sweep for Orglis, and they even typed it in chat. They're like, never again. Never again. They have huge respect, of course, to
see if
play.
It'll be Maestro for this last one or not. No,
Pulse.
That's one we've seen quite often on Border, specifically to deny that downstairs roam. And
ventilation in workshop.
Well, because you know those plants have to be so rushed a lot of times in Armory. Once you get in there, you have to plant quickly, whether it be inside the archives or in the Armory lockers itself. You have to get that plant down quick. And having to worry about someone C4ing you from below is a concern you don't want to have, because even if you clear and control the bottom early on, you can't necessarily guarantee control during the frantic push and plant that happens. So because of that, they're going to just get rid of that, but they're going to leave Maestro on the board, who's happily going to be snapped up by Shepard there. So we'll see if we see any 6th picks on that. We'll see, though. Maestro probably going to stick around. I doubt they're going to switch off that. That Thatcher, of course, going to be useful. You have the Bandit, so you definitely want to stick that. They could 6th pick off the Bandit, though, seeing that Thatcher, decide that, you know, we're going to lose that wall anyways. Let's pick another Operator. However, of course, you get the C4. Still pretty useful. I mean, I get tempted, though, when you see a situation like a Buck and a Thatcher, you go, you know what? Especially with the Zofia as well, I'm just going to switch to a Mute because I'll get more utility off of the wall. However, they do switch instead. Let's see, who is it? Off to the Echo from, I don't remember who it was, but the Echo itself is very good at denying some of that plant there.
I mean, you look at this lineup on the defense with Echo, Smoke, and Maestro.
Yeah, they're going to...
We talked it up. Yeah, we talked it up. This is a huge lineup. However, I think the easiest way to deal with it is a Dokkaebi.
Yeah.
And this is why I'm surprised IDK have not brought it. Now, they might have other plans. Zofia as well plays pretty well. A lot of what we've been seeing on attacks into the Armory is if there's a Dokkaebi, she'll push into CCTV after having cleared it previously with her teammates, and then control the hallway from there. She'll have some support. But the Zofia is mainly focused...
Ooh, whoops. That's not
good. No, it didn't do any damage.
Oh, so close. Yeah. I even heard the sound. I thought for sure he got shotgunned by that.
But back to the point, the Dokkaebi would allow them to play from the back. Now, this might be now up to Leon or up to LMs, depending on what they have in mind.
Leon, right?
Yeah, right. But it depends on what role they're looking for the Zofia to fill.
Yeah.
And, you know, what she's going to do is come on in from detention.
Well, we've seen a lot of times when they're going to go to shoot below the Bandit batteries, they will clear detention first. So it's definitely could be the case. But they're actually going for both sides. So I like the double pinch. If one of them dies, you still have the ability to open below.
Yeah, but Joystick is playing in the workshop, and they'll spot him. Smartly done here is Leon's drone is not spotted. So if you can pull it back and spray... Oh, no.
Oh, here we go. Time it right.
No! Leon!
It worked! It's still the wall.
How did he do that?
Enough damage. Leon with the luck.
Leon Gibbs isn't so great. Are you kidding me?
Man, he can mess up a grenade and still kill the guy.
He's that good.
He's got some kind of magical religious necklace on, I imagine, at this point that he's rubbing.
He's definitely oh boy, he's a warrior priest.
Yeah, he's got one more nade too if he wants to throw one down the old chimney there. Give him a little treat inside the offices if they are playing there. Thermite, though, going to be trying to take control a little bit of CCTV before he goes to push. They don't have the door open, so this is a little safer to do because without that door open, which of course he's going to potentially open himself here, but you got to wait for backup, right? You don't want to push this until you've got your teammates up here. They have the Thatcher of maybe who has yet to show up. They have the IQ controlling the CCTV, so they've got a lot of good map control here. This is a good start for I don't know.
I wonder where that Bandit is situated here. He's going to try to trick behind the Armory wall. No, there is nobody here, so easy pick off here for the Thermite. I'll open up the left-hand side wall as Lackey will possibly be doing that clear out play from the CCTV. You need someone to control the hallway, and eventually once the push comes to shove, what you need is a lot of equipment being expended up front, but that forces the defenders, especially the Echo and the Maestro, to go back on their cameras, and once that's done, have the IQ run up from the back. We've seen that role even filled up by a Lion.
This is going to be a very turtle defense because of it. Because they're relying on 2 site defenders to hold anchor. This is going to take a while, but Leon with the first kill there.
And easily he comes in from the side, and now he deletes both the Maestro and the Echo. This is pretty much a done round, unless Edenity have something very special to show us here in their skill level. And we'll spot the smoke in the back, we'll spot the Bandit, and Leon cannot get the last one. It's only the 3K for him, and Lackey finally gets the final shot on Nemea. That'll be the round going the way of I don't... What is this?
It's the velocity just throwing them off. Question mark? Actually, and I think it was there was one more kill snuck in there as well. That was a 4K for Leon, as Lackey took the last one and stole his ace because he died. But nonetheless, Leon, not so great this round, right? Jeez.
It's coming home.
It's, yeah. It is a heck of a round for Leon, and I don't expect that to be the last round, who has been a very strong player. I mean, Buck isn't always the top fragger, but when you can mess up a grenade, still get a kill, and then just storm in and get 3 more, that's the way to do it. So a good start there. Unfortunately, the Echo Maestro combo just did not work out well enough because they just didn't deny fast enough. They had the visibility on that, unfortunately, on that Evil Eye, who was very low. They could have easily naded that out. Not that they didn't have the Zofia to get rid of it anyways, but it was definitely not going to do a whole lot that round, unfortunately. And I think not picking Maestro this time probably the better choice.
Yeah, and this is the one problem with going too heavy in the anchor play, is that once the attack comes up, there's nobody to watch your back.
And there's two little map controls, so you give up too much of the map to where they can go for sight earlier.
Yep. Obviously, everybody will, well, at least 3 of those operators would be fixed up on the one position where the attackers will be coming from, where they'll have the advantage, but it leaves the flank extremely exposed, and that's how they come in with the Buck.
Well, the smart switch this time is bringing in Valkyrie, which will give them a little more map control, at least map visibility via the cameras. Shockwave, I imagine, will probably be on a little bit of a roam, as we see a lot of roam and Valkyrie plays. So that already is, I think, a better change-up. I think this round potentially will go better for Identity. The question is, though, will we see a switch-up? Now, we see sometimes when they're successful attacking the AWOL side, they'll switch it up and attack the opposite side because they don't want to be as predictable on the second attack because they know Identity are going to be adjusting for that. When you have 5 defense rounds in a row, you have more ability to adjust your defense if you lose one. So this could be a round where they just say, we can just refine what we just did, or we're going to attack them a completely different way that they're not prepared for.
Well, Leon looking for maybe a cross here or lucky shot, won't find anybody. And Alem's still doing the same thing that he did last round.
Same approach from Leon as well.
I don't know if they'll be able to contest him. It's very smart that IDK are taking the map bit by bit. And the fact that there is no pulse available leaves Identity extremely vulnerable in this position downstairs, which maybe is a signal to say, hey, you know what? Let's just play everybody upstairs anyways.
Well, the Valkyrie could be a nice replacement for that if the Valkyrie rotate downstairs late and go for a C4 because you have potentially a camera up there that you can use to see. Not going to be as efficient as Pulse, but it does give them a little more flexibility with that banned Pulse. We cooked grenade trying to act like a C4 from below. Fortunately not going to hit anything. But still, nice little hole opened up there. He didn't have to use a skeleton key shot for.
LM's setting up the outside of the wall. He'll switch over to his concussion lifelines. As actually, this is so efficient. Seems like IDK have turned into a German team here because they are doing everything. Just checklist done one by one at 1:35 left. They've already taken control of the surface below. The grenade's gonna get shucked up. Damage done? No, there's no damage. That'll be pushed onto the Identity player playing here. That's the Bandit. Nemia, if I'm not mistaken. They're not gonna take down the hatch because that definitely would be...
yeah, you don't want to give them that.
Yeah, that'll be a bit of a boon as well that they can use, but Shepard realizing what's happening, he'll move around his yokai to try and shut down any aggressive plays that IDK will do, but Leon moves in to the main stairs.
This is a different approach from him this time.
Yeah, because they know they don't have to deal with players that are anchoring too hard on the site.
Yeah, just Echo, and you can pull him off of his yokai by killing him, but Leon, he's going to kill him anyways. Karzeka down, that's the smoke down, but Lackey at least gets traded off. That's less grenades on the board.
Oh, what a shot from Joystick. He'll get the second one, eliminating Leon, but the Thermite can already plant here. The Echo slowing things down as it'll force the Thermatisticity back. See, in the back, Joystick getting one more. He'll peek in from the half wall as the Zofia of LMs cannot find him just yet. Joystick with one more. He's just playing games with him in the 4K to destroy his opponents. No, actually, that was a complete ace.
You know what it was? Is he didn't get grenaded by
Are you kidding? Joystick isn't so great. Are you kidding?
That's how you get to come back. You go from dying the first round due to a weird grenade play to getting an ace the next round.
I can't believe it.
He is a very good player, though. I'm not surprised.
This is for a lot of people to understand that even if you haven't heard of Edenity for quite a while, this is not a team to scoff at. Like, these are excellent players, but they haven't had their chance to go back into Pro League from, you know, back in the day.
Yeah.
So
I imagine they're in the qualifiers for Challenger League, or if not, I mean, to be fair, they've actually been playing very well in alternative leagues. So they've been in some other leagues and just dominating them.
Yep.
So they're not a stranger to just kicking buttons. Competitive scenes just hasn't been pro.
They are the top team in Russia at the moment. There was a Russian championship not too long ago, and they basically just demolished everybody. Yeah. Just like, you know, we talk about other regions with End Gaming, for example, being the top in Italy by far, and they'll be playing at DreamHack Valencia as well next week. So we get to see a lot of regional talent really making it through.
Well, it's nice to see those other regions you just don't see as often. Like,
there's a lot of Russian players that, you know, always are asking, why do we not have a team? Well, unfortunately, you did, but it's no longer the case. But this is a team to be proud of because they'll possibly go to the top of Challenger League if they're able to make it through.
And if I remember correctly, the only reason they're not in Challenger League or potentially even Pro League at this point was because of, I think, a disband that happened at one point. They reformed, but it was too late. They'd already kind of lost their spot. Similar situation to, I don't know, in a different way, but you know, disbands and roster changes will definitely drop you out, and that's why it helps to be nice to your teammates and make them want to stay with you. So either way, though,
who would have thought that was that's a smart decision?
Well, you know what? It'll take a few years before players learn that, but eventually the ones that stay on top will figure that out. I like the up and the down on the both sides of the wall being taken out by the shotgun. There, usually you'll see one or the other, or just maybe a hole, but there's some thoroughness in being able to chuck some things over the top. Of course, you've got to make that throw angle just right so it doesn't stick. But now they've got to go down to vents because, of course, they defended upstairs successfully. So we see one operator change because of that. Shepard now, or not Shepard, Shockwave going to be going over to the Castle instead of Valkyrie.
Makes a lot of sense.
He's been kind of the flex player. He's been playing the only role changes we've seen so far.
But it makes a lot of sense.
Oh,
we always talk up Castle, especially on border, especially when you're defending in a workshop.
I remember when I was watching the game last night, so many times I saw it come down to a clutch from Castle inside vents.
I'll try to get a close angle on the Zofia in the back. Lems will just use one of his lifelines to concuss the Castle and force him back. As the rest of IDK still droning in. Shockwave just peeling off. It's like an onion. You pull back, but in this case, the onion will regenerate and he'll put himself. I cry every time. He'll pull back into the main lobby as Lems expends his second lifeline, and you know what? The first kill will go the way of Shockwave, eliminating those EMPs of the Thatcher. But you heard one go off, and I believe that was at least part of the bandit batteries that have been taken out.
Interesting that he started off-site as well. Like, normally you play a little closer site, but I like that he castled that door that just got destroyed and stuck around a bit more outside of the site. Now he's pulled back to the site because that door getting destroyed means he has to. But I like that he kind of expanded his defensive area to begin with, got a frag out of it, and then is able to pull back and still live through it. So, good defense so far.
Well, Lackey in the offices here. Joystick trying to contest him. As, he hasn't been moving too much, but the Buck does not know that Joystick is right behind them, and I'm not sure if they have anybody to watch from the back. The shots will come in, and Leon will go down as Joystick will run up. Lems will get one, though Lackey's watching the angle. He'll do a bit more damage to Joystick here, but it's not down in just yet. Say that the bandit will go down. Flash going to get thrown up to slow him out of Joystick. Will still be victorious, and he'll get one more. Joystick is insane right now. He'll get the kill on the Castle. It's only Lems alive, and the diffuser, that's on the other side here of the map.
Oh boy. Joystick, can you steal the 4K? Because unfortunately Castle took one of your kills. So, yeah, Battley's doing a good job today. I'm glad to see those changes that they were announcing already starting to do some work.
Oh yes, please. I can't wait for two-factor authentication. There we go. Get the shot on the Yokai to take it out. Shepard still in and waiting for the push from the Zofia. There's no time, there's no diffuser. And Shepard just comes in. Lems still gets the kill and it turns into 1v1. He needs that diffuser and Joystick will try to lay him, but you see the Zofia cannot see anything. And very smart from Joystick, realizing, you know what, you want to come over here, you don't even have the time. And the defenders of Edenity will still take round number 3 to put it 2-1, and all on the back of Joystick. I believe he's got 8 kills here.
The man's gonna need at least suspenders at this point. I like that he didn't get greedy. He could have gone for the 4K and been like, I'm gonna go from an ace to a 4K. But you know what he said? It's better that we win this round, and I guarantee that we win this round. Much smarter, so I appreciate the restraint there from Joystick, not getting greedy off of his kills and taking his wins to one more round. Customs is gonna be the third one. That is a bit of a surprise for me, just because of the prevalence we've seen of Bathroom be the third. But in this case, hey, you got to pick a different one. It could be them just trying it once. We could still potentially even see them go to bathrooms. But as we've talked about before with the new site rotation system, you only have to go to a third site once.
Yep.
Within a map, so we might not see it at all.
This is the change. This is what I was looking for.
There we go.
We talked about the Dokkaebi early on, and you know what? IDK realized that maybe that's the one they need to go for. We've seen how powerful the SMG-12 has been. So that comboed with calls, it'll make things a lot easier to clean up the Jaeger.
Oh, no line on the board.
Yeah, there's 3 operators that you want to have on your team when you're dealing with heavy roam from your opponents, especially a player like Joystick, Lion, which is not available, the Dokkaebi, and the Jackal. And you know what? In this case, Dokkaebi makes a lot of sense.
Well, at least Shepard's blocked those numbers, so there is that. There's at least one person that will be immune to. But of all the teams in the qualifiers so far, the only team that banned Dokkaebi was Edenity. So I imagine they don't like dealing with those phone calls.
I can understand it.
But at least they have mute. So that is a situation where we've mentioned before, a lot of people forget that mute will, if you're anywhere on the jammer, and the initial call comes out while you're on the jammer, you can step off the jammer, unlike Lion, and the call will not come through. You just, no reception, call, decline, basically. So
Dokkaebi is basically like your crazy ex-girlfriend. Yeah, keeps calling you all the time.
Between Mute and Echo, what I mean is there's a lot less effectiveness in Dokkaebi play here because there will potentially be people playing on or around those Mute jammers, depending on what walls they're on. What, like Bandit, for example, would be playing on a wall. He's not here this time, but a lot of times we'll be playing on a wall that can be jammed by that and things like that. So it's just, it's situations where I think you'll probably only get a couple people with those phone calls because of that.
We'll see how Meepy starts this one off here. Is you know, we're hyping him up, but we'll see what Edenity have to show in this one. So they have a bit of a setup around the CCTV, which makes a lot of sense. You're defending the peepers downstairs, so there's 2 main angles for the attackers to go through. Take control of CCTV and take control of that main lobby entrance. Once you have control of that, you got a thermite. You can push your way in, and you also have the IQ. Of course, because most of the floorboards above are bangable, well, you know what you can do. Pull up your signal detector and shoot down any batteries, any mute jammers in this case.
That'll definitely help for those phone calls as well, especially if those get caught early on, depending on how deep into the map they are. But CCTV control, of course, is the primary pivot point of this, and they have yet to get control of that. That's where Zofia is definitely going to come into play and trying to deny some of those corners that they're going to be sticking. But Karzeka managing to live a lot longer than he had previous rounds is making it much harder for them.
They can hear him as well as he finally sets himself up by the wall. Shockwave spraying right into the doorway. Can't find anybody just yet. And you see, Edenity have not lost a man in this. And even if they expend, you know, an extra smoke, the amount of time that they've burned off is huge.
Yeah, especially on this being the important side here. I mean, low health definitely sucks, and Joystick doesn't care. He's like, I got 1 HP, that's enough to get a frag here. And Elam's going down. That is the Zofia that was very important getting this room already dead.
See, even the Mute does not have any, well, too much ammo in his magazine, and in the pack, Shockwave will get 1 as he falls back, but Lackey will spray in as well in the IQ, getting an extra 1 on the mate. Puts it on a 3 versus 3, but Joystick's still low in health. Have seen him go pretty darn crazy when it comes to the lines of fire and the IQ down on the floor. Joystick is going to get spotted, but IQ cannot find the shots. He'll fall back down onto the server as we're at 35 seconds left on the clock. Lackey will have to peek into the site as Edenity are unsure of where their opponents will be coming from, but they got to make this one happen. I don't know if they have an extra call to go with. That'll be the perfect moment to use any logic bomb they might have. Joystick opening up the lobby here as it was not cleaned up. What I don't understand is why Stizzy has not opened anything in the back, but now the push has to come in. Joystick is flashed. The Stizzy will go in for the plant. Shepard switches around to the Yokai, but will he have enough time to go for it? No, he does not go back on it in time. And unfortunately, even if he did shoot one of his Yokais, he cannot stop this plant from coming down. And obviously, the end of it here is a bit more skewed towards the attack. As I say that, Joystick will get 1 kill to eliminate Sizzy. It does leave 2 alive as Lackey gets 1. All onto Joystick with little to no health left, and they can deal with him from above. Meepy will land a shot with the SMG-12. And round number 4 will be set on the board for IDK.
You know what, if I was IDK, step number 1 at this point, kill Joystick early. The 1 round that killed Joystick early was the 1 round they won them by far the most convincingly. It has definitely been a struggle in terms of how do we deal with this guy? He's just a Jaeger. He doesn't have some magic vigil power or anything that's giving him the ability to roam any better than anyone else, except for being a 3-speed, but he's absolutely playing it to maximal effect here. Yeah, maybe it's tied right now, but I feel like Joystick alone is keeping it tied at that point, and that was such a close round. I mean, he shouldn't have even been able to get that last frag because the Claymore, taking out that Claymore that was on the window should have given away his approach at that point, should have been able to fight that. Not only that, but he baited it on the door earlier, but just due to smart play. Unfortunately, Shepard failing on the Echo shot there. We've seen time and time again, dependence on Echo to save the plant can often lead to a loss just as much as it can lead to a win. And so you have to be extra careful and extra prepared to deny those plants. But you know that's where the plant's going to go down for the most part, right? There's very few plant spots in that room. He should have been better positioned.
It's either that or when you go on to you thermite the sidewall coming in from the main entrance, and then go into plant on the other side of the V.
But it's so rare, yeah. And it was just unfortunate due to the roof setup and just the yokai placement. He didn't hit that. That could have been close. I feel like if he had hit that, Joystick might have been able to make that push, and Diffuse wouldn't have gone down, and that might have been a round for Edenity. But either way, it's 2-2. Last defensive round here for Edenity. So of course they're going to go where they can, which is back up to Armory Lockers. They don't have to deal with customs again, which is again a bomb site that most teams don't win anyways. However, they have shown to be a very strong defensive team, and I can't wait to see how they're going to go on attack just based off of how well they've kept IDK on their toes on their defense.
This is one of your standard spots for the Echo to sit in Fountain. That's why you see so many reinforced walls in and around him to protect. Now, this is round number 5, so this is the last shot here for Edenity to grab an extra point on the board. And Shockwave getting a bit ballsy here. He'll board up the window and then go back into the archives. Now, looking at the bans that we have here, Devin, would you say that this start is more favored theoretically for the attackers or the defenders?
Well, in this case, I don't know, have played a lot of defensive starts with the bans that they've been doing the Miracle as. So they're very, very comfortable in not playing with either of those operators. Because of the fact that they banned the Pulse on Edenity, I think that disabled Edenity quite a bit more. So I think the attack has the advantage here, because losing the Mirror and the Pulse, yeah, you lose the Glaz and the Line, but those are kind of the cheese operators anyways. So it forces them to have to play strong attack operators. But like I said, they're kind of used to not having that Glaz anyway, so I don't think I Don't Know is going to be any worse for wear on that. But losing the Line, again, I don't think would have made a huge difference. So I think attackers have the advantage in this.
All right, well, possibly leads us to believe that IDK, taking this round, yeah, well, they kind of need this round, or they'll be in the disadvantage going into their defense in round number 6. One right after this here. Lem's trying to take control of those bandit boundaries, and there you go. They'll be removed. Leon will get a kill here, securing it on Shockwave. So they won't have to deal with him.
Yeah. Hopefully cameras are already up.
Attackers have located a bomb.
A lot of buck play coming on here too. Leon just getting to live way too long downstairs. The fact that they don't have a pulse doesn't mean they can't play someone down there to get him. Although unfortunately that didn't work out for Joystick previously, but they need to plan better for dealing with Buck.
Nothing just yet here. Joystick pushing in from below on the Jaeger. Spot one player. Oh my god, no.
There
Leon, yeah, you just mentioned he's alive too much. And Joystick heard you. He's like, you know what? I'm going to clean this one up. Smoke will get thrown right in front of the desk to make it a bit easier to walk on in, but they have to deal with the yokai in the back. Not sure where the 4th player from IDK will be coming in, because the yokai should be able to stop this. And Joystick using the pre-prepped holes will get the kill. And where was the yokai?
Shepard, come on, brother. Not doing so great today.
Well, there's 3 players left alive. The call post-plant goes up perfectly here to lock in 2 players, and they hear where Joystick's coming from, and there you go. Easy kill for IDK. Meepy still set up in CCTV, and Nemea is going to try to long reach this with the gas canister to protect. Is he actually going to do this?
What?
There's nobody to contest, and he does it again!
Oh my goodness.
Where are you, IDK?
You know, I will give Shepard a little credit. His stuns on the Meepy on the Dokkaebi inside CCTV did help with that a little bit, as well with the smoke cover. So both the plant denial operators, instead of denying the plant like they should have, just denied them stopping the disarming of the plant. So I guess they made up for it a little bit, but that was the last defensive round, and now they come out with the edge here. So
yeah.
This is a map that IDK have played twice during these qualifiers. Edenity have played once. Both of them won it once, but that means that also IDK have lost it once, unlike Edenity. So maybe there's a chance that Edenity are looking at some of those holes.
I'm going to remind you that IDK lost this map against Orglis not but 2 days ago.
6-0 though.
6-0. And that's because they didn't ban Ying.
That's what it is.
You're playing against Hungary.
That is an odd choice not to ban.
If you don't ban a Ying, you're just a masochist at that point.
Yeah. No, I'd rather at this point against IDK, I'd rather ban Ying than Glaz. But at the same time, Rips is a pretty terrifying Glaz, I gotta admit. So either way though, Leon Gids, only the top bracket for IDK with only half as many kills as Joystick. The poor rest of his team not getting to do anything except for pretty much bait for him. Poor guys.
The thing is, you look at the way that IDK have been losing the rounds, it's pretty much just because they lose early manpower in the round.
Yeah.
It's just because there's nobody present to protect the buck as it's getting work done.
But they're playing a little bit independently.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Early on, we saw both the IQ and the buck pushing together, or the Zofia and the buck. Once that was done, they just kind of go their separate ways. And unfortunately, it doesn't work when you have to deal with a Jaeger running around. Yeah, but here, Identity are now in the attack, and they are bringing the Ying, and they realized this is IDK's vulnerability, so maybe they'll be able to play the Hungry game.
I guess Joystick is just an Ash Jaeger main, though. To be fair, that whenever I've seen him in the past, it's been pretty normal for him to be running this operator. But given how successful he was on Jaeger, I definitely do not blame him for sticking with one of his mains here, because it is pretty much all on his shoulders from what we've seen so far. That doesn't mean there is an opportunity for them on the attack as well. They've got a pretty good attack lineup, and like you mentioned, not banning the Ying definitely didn't work out for I don't know last time. We'll see if this time, if Shockwave could be as good as Hungry. I mean, I don't expect that, but if he's even half as good, it could be hard for IDK.
Shockwave just droning in the hallway, won't find anybody in the CCTV office either. So Nemea coming in, of course, IQ's biggest job is to move around, use that electronics detector, and make sure that she's got eyes, well, minimum, eyes on all the setup, electronic-wise, or at least take them out if possible.
Yeah, this is definitely going to take a while here because this is just a much slower take with the mute jammer. See, again, I don't know what the smarter approach, taking the mute rather than the bandit. Unless you're getting a lot of kills out of the bandit or a lot of impact outside of the batteries, the mute I think is the better choice. And in this case, I mean, that's something, I don't know, I've always been kind of big on playing mute. So it doesn't surprise me there, but I think it is overall the better effect you're getting because they're going to open up that wall. It's the denial and the delay is not even significant at this point.
They'll go up the bus.
Oh no!
Never do that. Never do. Canadian learned it the hard way.
Yeah.
A couple days ago.
Come on, guys. It was a good tease though.
Attackers have recovered their diffuser. Attackers dropped the diffuser.
Now Echo's gonna be watching that for a while though, so you gotta admit that might work in their favor.
They are setting up for the push here. As Edenity have already opened up the armory wall, so they're potentially trying to back. The grenade's gonna be thrown up. Not sure what they were hitting upstairs because there is no maestro.
Attackers recovered the bomb.
Either way, though, either Black Eye or Yokai. Now Candel's coming out. They're going to start with the push. Nami running all the way across the lockers. Nades himself. Great start for the plant here. Shockwave at least able to pick it up, but now the smoke coming out.
They'll try to plant onto the back. Joystick is holding down the rotation, so he'll turn around and gets one kill. But Leon getting one for his own onto Shepard. Turns into a 2v4 now as Identity. The Ying is low on health, and the Habana's on the outside. A lot of time left for IDK. You see them already moving around from the opposite end of the map to try and push in from the side of CCTV, where Karzeka is holding a long angle. The kill will come in for Stizzy, and they'll just stick to the diffuser. This should be the end of the round, in a similar fashion to what Identity did to IDK. IDK will give them a bit of a taste of their own medicine. And I'll take the round, put it on the board to tie it 3-3.
I got to give a lot of credit to Leon with the timing on that Echo. Jumping out when he did, because had he jumped out at first, you saw that Joystick was prepared for it. He took some shots and then looked over right to the jump out on the archives. Okay, he's not there. Look back, I'm going to do my job, and I'm going to guard the rotate over to the bomb. But then as soon as he looks away, that's when Leon decides to come out just slightly late, like you'd expect a smart player to do. Kills Joystick, and then there's so much less defense of the diffuser, because had Joystick been alive, they couldn't have crept over to the diffuser like that without him seeing it, without Karzeka knowing that he was going for the diffuser, right? Because that was, you could see on the outlines that the angle that he was holding could not see him crawling over to the diffuser, or crouching, walking rather. So it just came down to losing the wrong man at the right time for the defenders, and then of course him just being kind of pinched by too many different angles. But either way, now they have to go to vents.
Crouching tiger, hidden meepy.
It sure is.
Crouching echo, hidden meepy.
Yeah,
that's sweet.
It worked out good though, and now it's neck and neck though. And keep in mind, unlike the Pro League play days, this can go to overtime. This can go to a best of 3 overtime. So with a best of 5 and a best of 3 overtime, we could be looking at either a short day or a very long day for these guys to make it through. Like you said, a little bit of a stamina contest. It was a bit short the last 2 nights, despite some rehost and technical issues. It still was only 3 maps. But this could definitely, between this matchup, I definitely anticipate at least 4, if not 5.
Yeah, I can see this definitely being a 4-map roundup.
That's true. That's generally the average. I was surprised to see even 1, let alone 2 3-map wins. So, but our first Blackbeard here coming out. So that should be interesting from Shockwave. He does play that quite a bit. Not surprised.
You know, I'm wondering. So obviously,
Attackers must locate and defuse a bomb.
I look at this and this just smells.
It just smells.
It smells of a take in the office.
Oh yeah, definitely. Especially when you have Blackbeard playing AC.
But there's other ways of playing him. Some teams will push the main armory wall, and they'll have the Blackbeard to hold off on the window. But it looks like we're correct in our primary assumption. Yeah. Edenity will be looking towards a push from the offices. I'll see if IDK are prepared for this. Now, the echo is even stronger here because you have 3 lines of defense until you really hit where the defenders are seated. And it's a lot more deeper of a defense than what you would have if you're defending on the armory.
Yeah, assuming they can't just somehow open up fountains quickly, which is really, oh, there's the drone just barely getting away from his shots. Joystick, though, does eventually catch it, and that's the important thing. It is 1 less yokai drone to deal with for Leon. Leon, though, just as good with his gun. However, Namiya making up for his grenade self-kill last round, getting down the bandit early. That's Snizzy, who hasn't been a big impact so far, but that is still a nice initial kill to get things cracking. Not that I think any bandit trick was going to happen. And now, there we go. There's fountains taken by Joystick very quickly.
I don't think IDK were expecting this at all, but...
Working out very well. He's actually got so much flexibility. He's already looking down towards the site. Looks like they're going to have to abandon ship here to go downstairs, but they've still got 4 people left alive.
I mean, there is still 1 player in the armory. I'm not sure if they have rotated just yet. No, there he is.
Yeah,
there's 2 players that they're hiding in the back.
That's the typical spot, though, you're going to see people hiding when it comes to this situation. The last person left alive is usually going to be doing that. Leon does rotate off, so it is all down on Elms if he wants to stick up there. Now, the only problem with sticking that spot is he doesn't have a rotate out unless he can get all the way to the small office. However, he can fight a long angle with that 416, and so he will be able to stick quite a while if they can't nade him off. However, this drone here probably going to start going downstairs. There's another down for Joystick, just destroying these guys.
So Joystick finds the 2nd kill here for Edenity. There's 44 seconds left on the clock. So IDK will set up for the defense. Now, I used to mention that you know, the Echo, great operator to have in 1v1s, 1v2s. There you go. He wins it against Joystick. The thorn in the side of IDK so far has finally been removed, and Shepard will throw in his gas canisters. But where is Leon? He's got to be the one to save this. LMs will come in from the side, get 1 kill, and get the 2nd. Denied the diffuser plan. He's on the floor, peeks up. Shepard dishes out the damage, but they'll trade away. And the last alive is Shockwave, who breathes in a bit of the smoke, jumps on into it, and Meepy will take him out with what is left of his gas canister. The round will go IDK.
Sometimes I feel like we're watching Leon versus Joystick with 8 supporting operators.
Yeah.
Because it just seems like a lot of it, maybe not everything, you know, definitely the end of that round there didn't come to either of those 2, but the real battle for me is those 2. It's like when you see a war situation and there's that general, that if you could kill that guy, it would just demolish the other side to an extent. That's those 2, just head to head right now. But now they've got to go to customs. So this is the big question mark. Can they continue their defensive reign, or will it be a situation where they finally get knocked off a bit and we see a momentum swing to the other side? Now, obviously, after this, they can go back up to lockers. So there is that. Stizzy going to do something interesting as we see the Doc Rook combo here. Along with the Echo, the old 3 armor ACOG meta coming out here. So this is definitely going to be a lot of long angles being played by these guys for sure.
This is classic EU setup from back in the day. They're even bringing what is this is the thick boy.
Yeah, Maestro now too. Yeah. But the Blitz could be the thing to maybe counter all these big guys.
This setup is pretty much the thick boy, stay on the site, play long angles with 4 ACOGs on the defense kind of
Smokes the guy there just to provide the cigarettes for the other 4.
Basically, because it's Maestro, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, you mentioned the Blitz, and that's... I see how strong it could be. However, IDK know how to play with the Blitz as well.
Absolutely.
Knowing that Leon is a player that has not shied away from picking that operator, which means they will have an idea of how to counter it, because you know what? The best person to understand how to counter a certain play is literally the person that plays it all the time.
And I'd say the same thing for attack and defense. Usually you see teams defending against their own attacks and attacking their own defenses, things like that. So yeah, know thyself is a good thing though. It is a thing that you can know much more frequently than you can know the opponents. So, but the question is, Namiya hasn't been a big impact, even nading himself, unfortunately. Having someone on such an important operator, and I know technically, yeah, it's 1 out of 5. But when you pick someone like a Blitz or a Montaigne, you're betting a lot on that strategy working, because they're not necessarily someone who could do a ton themselves. Now, Blitz is going to do a lot more by themselves a lot of times than Montaigne, but at the same time, like a shield really benefits most from teamwork. So it's risky to put someone on a Blitz, because a lot of times they're going to over-aggress themselves, get themselves killed, and that leaves you a man down too early more often than not. So it is, I think, a risky play, just looking at things, especially with all these ACOGs on the board. But Lackey doesn't get the kill on Shockwave, and now that Blitz doing quite a bit of damage. An impact nade, not enough to finish him off, but he's pretty low on health now. And Doc cannot finish his kill just yet.
You'll have to fall back for just a second. There's now 2 players that are down on the floor for Edenity, and Meepy will finish off Shockwave. That Blitz still on the floor, crawling away. Joystick will spot the Yokai drone, but they are using it as bait for Joystick to walk right into the line of fire of both Leon. Where's the Maestro? But Joystick is ready, and he'll get the kill. Maestro spots him here, but maybe a bit too little, too late, as I wonder if the Ash still has any flashbangs to chuck in. Yeah, there you go. 2 stun grenades that are available if need be.
Party poppers.
It might be time for Alems to fall back, as Joystick will come in, get the spot, try to contest the long angle against that ACOG from Maestro.
Yeah, ACOG versus ACOG here. Unfortunately, LMG does tend to win, especially if you can pre-fire, and that's Joystick finally down. This is not a good round for Identity at all. Namiya did get back up, though, back up to his 50% health. So that is one shining light here, because it is only a 3v3. Meepy, though, still alive. That's going to be the big problem here. No lesion, but a smoke just as brutal here. Phone call is going to need to be an important part of this strategy.
The run from Stizzy to rotate back into the ventilation. It's pretty safe. They know that all their opponents are basically set up in CCTV, and the calls will go off.
Also, he can dock himself for any damage he takes doing that fall as well, so not a bad strategy, despite being a little slow to rotate. Now they're all on site, but they have site control of the top here. They don't have a lot of great ways to open the floor other than potentially some of those X-Kairos, but if they have some to spare, they could open up a bit of the floor with that.
There you go. They spot the Maestro that's sitting up in detention. They all have Rook armors on top of them. Karchika will come in to the side, not even needing a Thermite to open things up for him. Nemea just throwing in an extra flash just in case. Meepy pulls out the shotgun. He goes in for the fire, but no, Shepard just sprays in with a high rate of fire, the Mark 14. Even as a DMR, he'll try to contest Dizzy, and Alems, the last man alive, and Alems puts it on the board again. What a shot. The ACOG and the Maestro.
That's why you see him banned.
Maestro, good operator, right?
Yeah. Unfortunately, he tends to make spaghetti of others with that LMG. It is...
He turns him into carbonara, that's for sure.
Well, so far, that is a 3-round defensive streak here. Now, we saw 3 defensive rounds successfully for Edenity on their defense, so it is not unheard of for this to switch around. But that is a very strong start on all 3 bomb sites, something Edenity could not accomplish here, and it goes back to lockers. So this is definitely looking like, I don't know, could close this out, this map, in terms of, well, this map, but not... Definitely not the night here. This is just the first map of many. So maybe Edenity could just, you know, you can have this round. We're gonna move on to the next map. Let's just get it over with and get ready for the next one.
Yeah, and this is the thing. With a best of 5, you need to have that reset mindset at the end of every single map you play, because it is physically and mentally exhausting to play through a best of 5 and be pretty much fully focused for the entirety of the match.
Not to mention, these guys have been playing a lot to get to this point. It is between, well, Pro League for I don't know, but more so these qualifiers that they've been playing through. We saw quite a few matches for I don't know, and then a few for Edenity as well. And I don't know are coming off a bit of a loss against Orglis, and that's got to hurt a little bit with all the effort you've been putting in to get taken down like that. Hopefully they got some good rest since then, and we're a little more mentally stable and prepared for this. But hey, a 5-3 start is a good way to mentally get back into it for a team like I don't know. Jeez, Joystick, can you let your guys get some kills, buddy? Can you just like down some people and then just let them finish them off with a pistol or knife?
Yeah, honestly at this point, just nobody likes
a ball hog.
Greedy man.
Yeah, pass the ball once in a while.
Sharing is caring.
Well, so far we'll see if they can do this a little bit better, but this is definitely been a strong one. Now they are going to be going with the Bandit as opposed to
honestly, looking at all the setup of the Maestros, the Evil Eyes are very difficult to take out in that position unless you have the time to cook your grenades correctly, and that's so difficult. There's no Zofia.
There's the Ash. And I mean, he only gets 2 breaching shots. And he's probably
are you going to use them both?
No, probably not, let's be honest. So it's going to depend on maybe a combination between the Ash and the IQ in terms of taking those out. But yeah, there's whoa, Joystick! He killed his buddy Leon. That is Maestro down this round already in favor of Edenity.
Yeah, this is getting too close for comfort. It says at round number 9. It's definitely the advantage early on for Edenity. Is now, you know, we mentioned it before, mentioned it again. Hey, you lose your Maestro. Those Evil Eyes are practically useless unless you count the fact that you can still see one angle, but you can't move them anymore. You cannot use them to deny plants or destroy drones.
See through smoke, and that's the one saving grace if it's facing the right angle.
Honestly, I think they shouldn't see through smoke, but what do I know?
What do you know? Lackey knows something, that's for sure, and he knows how to kill the top man there. Joystick down.
Ah, the burn.
The 2 captains down here is going to depend on the quote-unquote support players to try and make this work. But that is at least, I believe, 1 smoke down now, and a minute 38 left. That is I mean, they haven't taken down the batteries completely yet. They have opened up a little bit.
They have burned off Excyrus, though.
This is definitely starting to be a bit of a tough spot for Edenity, just on utility alone and losing Joystick.
Lackey still playing by the eastern stairs. Karzeka will be heard and even spotted here. Karzeka somehow finding the angle on Alems. Not too sure how he's actually able to get that kill, but
the Type 89 too, not the bearing 9 yet, which I'm sure he'll be pulling out. But
easy kill for Lackey, falls back, but now he'll have to face against a blitz, and well, Namea still has the angle on him, and he'll get the shot. Though 2 left alive, Stizzy, and of course the smoke of Meepy, with blitz being very difficult to deal with. So he'll have to walk into the barbed wire, which will slow him down significantly. Shepard's setting up for the push. Namea. What are you doing? No! He takes in the smoke from Meepy, as Meepy will get 1 more. Shepard turns it into 1v1. It's all onto Stizzy. Shepard's to save it, and Shepard comes in with the SMG-12. Keeps Edenity alive in the game.
Wow.
5-4. Edenity can tie it 5-5 to take it overtime to go for a best of 3. We're going all the way on our first map.
Well, I don't want to pick on Namia too much, but come on, guy. What were you doing walking into the smoke there? You kind of, I mean, I know it was a little transparent-ish looking, but you kind of had to know where it was coming from, and that was just
especially when you're at half health.
I don't know if he was thinking, I'll just sprint through it. They won't expect that, but there's barbed wire, and they are going to expect it. I mean, you're loud as all heck. It's just, well, Blockers again, they did win at that time, but that was a close one. It's going to be a bit of a struggle. If Joystick can stay alive a little bit longer, and the Capitao here, the surprise play from Shockwave, which is, I think, an interesting choice, as Capitao has only been banned so far by Edenity in their matchup against Vitality, so maybe they just don't like playing against it, but they're happy to play it. So we'll see a 6-pick, though, over to IQ. I'm not sure what the surprise is there, other than the fact that he's not going to be playing Blitz, I guess, this time. So that will help as long as he doesn't nade himself.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
All right. Be back to the Maestro for Leon.
All right, Maestro. Can you do it? Because this is potentially the last round here, but if not, we go into overtime.
So you look at this lineup from Edenity with the Capitao being brought up. What do you think this attack will fit?
Absolutely 100% smoke. When you're bringing a Capitao and a Dokkaebi in a situation where you know they're bringing a Jaeger, that says to me they're going for a smoke plant. Ying, I think, is a lot of times a bit more useful if you have the ability like a Thatcher or something to clear out the ADSs, that you're going to get more utility out of the Ying push than you will out of a Capitao push. However, the upside of Capitao is he can burn out anyone behind that half wall. And if you're trying to push in onto that locker side and go for a smoke push, especially if you're going to that locker's corner, the ability to hit a fire arrow behind the half wall, a smoke or fire arrow right in the lockers next to the bomb itself, and cut off rotations from there and visibility, does give you the ability to run in fast. However, you got to know there's those evil eyes right there that will see right through any kind of smoke. Kind of denies the utility of Capitao here. So I do question the wisdom of it if you know there's a Capitao in play. We'll see, though. There are some black eyes to be expected. They're pretty much always out on that side out there. You can always expect that. Shockwave, however, did not expect that amount of damage, and the Claymore could be his only saving grace because Leon is going to kill him, so not going to see how those arrows are used. Yeah,
he expends 60 rounds from that set-me magazine to get the kill, but totally worth it, eliminating half of the smoke, potentially. There's still an ADS for, well, there's still a Jaeger with ADSs that have been reset by IDK, so even if Edenity are bringing the Dokkaebi, those smoke grenades might not land where they're really looking for. And Lackey will take down the drone. A Joystick, ball back for just a sec. He'll have to deal with Joystick. He's been a huge thorn in the side of IDK. And what an angle! Are you kidding me? How can you even see a player there? He'll still get the kill and eliminate the Valkyrie. That's a C4 out of play. And they'll be able here, Edenity, to open the armory wall. Though they are down one man, and that Capitao, great at holding long angles, of course, as you mentioned, great at burning anybody that's playing in the back of the half wall.
A bit of an underrated 3-speed operator as well.
Alright, Shepard still set up on the balcony of the parking. Does not find anybody just yet. Maybe playing behind Steezy. Will stay in the armory office. Maybe can still play from the back of the armory or put himself much closer to that A-bomb. Now, there are no walls that are reinforced to protect Stizzy in here, and I think that might come back to bite IDK in the back.
Yeah, I mean, they don't have the Zofia, which would make it a little bit easier, but they might still have one breaching charge left on Joystick's line there. No X-Kairos left. Yep, there is one left. He could use that to open it up, but he looks like he's going for that locker sandwich pinch again. Oh, the Claymore did not save Joystick's life there.
Now, Leon will still get the kill with a run out. He's down, they can pick him up. The C4 is thrown out as Stizzy sprays in and gets to the kill on Nemea, but the diffuser will still get set. Kazika and Shepard, last two alive, and they're both watching in from the balcony. One's watching any push coming in from the main lobby. The second one set up to protect the bombs. Though a lens has been heard. Going right into Shepard's line of sight. Edenity can tie it up. 2 kills for Kazika. All up to Leon Gitz. He'll get one, but Shepard is ready. And ladies and gentlemen, and map number 1 will go into overtime.
All right. Well, that is a heck of a start for best of 5. That just goes to show Edenity. Well, I mean, you saw 6 defensive rounds. You saw 3 from each team successful. So these guys are very neck and neck here. Overtime seems well justified in that both teams were able to defend just as well in theory, and both teams are able to attack just as well. So it is going to be a long battle here between these guys.
Yep.
But it is a coin flip to decide who is going to be on overtime. I mean, automatic coin flip, not literally a physical one. But that means that Edenity are going to be starting on attack again, which they are, at least momentum-wise, coming off of right now. A couple wins. That was 2 rounds in a row for them. So if they can get a 3rd round in a row, they will take an early lead in this overtime at least.
I wonder if Edenity will become Reddit's favorite team now.
Why not? I don't know. I mean, it depends on how many Russian fans there are in there, I suppose.
I don't think there's a lot of British fans for, you know.
Rip the UK.
Rip the UK.
Once the world champion, now just an island.
Well, they're all expecting to win the World Cup. They won't.
Yeah. They'll have that, right, if they lose this. But now, either way, this is far from over. But Identity are putting up a heck of a fight. And again, I know a lot of people maybe just not familiar with them, and I think this is a great debut for them to come into the scene. And I mean, like I said, they're not completely foreign to the scene, but
like, to come back into the scene.
Just like I don't know when we saw them come back in. So in a way, this is sort of like two underdogs, but also not really. It's an exciting match, though, to say the least.
They're the same, but different. The same, but still different.
Inside, we're all the same, but different.
There's a Skelly boy on the inside. The inside of everybody.
Well, we'll see here. Pretty much
too late, there's already a skeleton inside you. Too spoopy for me.
Well, you know, I ran out of room in my closet. So we'll have to go with this. But same lineup, they are bringing that Capitao again. Now, unfortunately, Shockwave just not very effective last round. So the question is, will he be able to defeat the mighty Leon Spaghetti Monster here one more time or not?
Now, the Bailiff, great secondary.
I love this. This is a spot I've been using that I thought I was being creative with, but I'm very unoriginal apparently. Because so the thing about that angle, the reason you use that one is because it's hard to see from the outside, and it gives you an angle. If you open up the wall into CCTV towards where the thermite breaches, you can actually hit the thermite charge from that spot and deny it. So, as well as, you know, Hobon charges, of course, as well. So, I like the angle. I mean, I've had trouble using it effectively in ranked, I'll be honest. I'm not the race with it, but it is definitely...
It does require quite a bit of teamwork as well. And outside of... Well, obviously, ranked is completely different than
No,
Pro
it's
League.
exactly the same. What are you talking about? Karzeka, though, an early kill. That is nice, because usually we've seen him in clutch situations towards the end instead. So that's got to feel good, taking down LMs early.
Yeah, the Jaeger now has been removed. Matchup. Thankfully, those ADSs have been set, or at least we hope.
Yeah, a lot committed to CCTV here. Try and stop anyone from nading that out. They still could nade that Eagle Eye as well if they get a chance, but Joystick's still alive, so Identity definitely still in this for sure.
Now Leon taking no damage in this, and as I say that, he takes half damage. He's sprayed as well, take it out. Karzeka finding the angle, and now everything going the way of Edenity with 3 players left alive for IDK. It seems like their defense is not really working out.
No, Karzeka got to be feeling good. Joystick says, that's fine, it's my turn again. You had your 2K, Karzeka, you're good. But either way, a very good round here. Just 2 left, but you don't count Meepy out on that smoke just yet, for sure.
Mute will go back into servers.
There we go.
Finally finding Joystick. Meepy will go for the run out. No! Right next to him. Fuser will get set on the floor. C4 will not hit anybody here. From Stizzy, they'll have to fall back.
My goodness, this is getting tense. Shepard, unfortunately, gonna get killed the old technological way.
Attackers have recovered their diffuser.
Well, at least this is turned into a 3v2. Of course, the first kill and the first minute have already gone the way the dinosaurs, that is. And they'll have to go for the... What are you doing? They expose the angle, and Meepy still in the back. He'll take down Nemea, pull out the shotgun. Shepard finally comes back, but a bit too late here. Stizzy will come in from the back. He spots on the half wall, and he'll run in from the side to deny the diffuser plan. And Stizzy, well, the last 2 kills for IDK, and they bring this round back.
Oy,
unfortunate, but hey, what are you going to do?
Lose the round, unfortunately. But either way, I thought for the most part that was a good round for Identity, but man, internet crash there, unfortunately, for Shepard at just the wrong time. I imagine we might have to go for rehost unless he's back in 6.
No,
looks like he is. Okay, good. Making sure he wasn't going to get stuck with recruiters in there. Although I believe now the way it's set up, you would get auto-picked an operator instead of being stuck on recruit, which is great. But he's going to go with Maestro instead of Echo. Now this is Identity on defense, so unfortunately that momentum didn't carry them forward due to just, I would say, some serious misplays on that plant. They really, you know, unfortunately they stuck themselves out there in more ways than one. And the fire itself will not cover you. Yeah, it covers the rotate, but you need that fire a little deeper in if you wanted to be able to deny them just a little more angle. And just some of those misplays. And then letting Stizzy rotate around. You had the guy in the half wall, should have been watching, unfortunately. But either way, you can say it all day long. Looks like Shepard actually wanted that Echo. He just wanted to bait the Maestro first. And Leon, why even switch off Buck? You've been so good on him. But we'll see how he can compete with Nami on that blitz.
We're very well known for
attackers need to locate
the plays on the blitz, on the Buck, and on the Ying, that's for sure. 6-5 scoreline with now IDK on the attack. 18 frags for Joystick.
Someone wants MVP pretty bad.
Yeah.
I think it's Joystick here. Whether he wins or loses this, he won my heart. Either way though, kills aren't everything, but it's just the way he's been playing has been very fantastic.
Yeah, and it's not like with certain players, basically I'm just gonna bait all my teammates and get kills off of it. No, he's just good at everything. He'll bait himself and still be able to get kills in. Like we saw the angle when he was pushing in through the main lobby and contesting the Valkyrie that was set up right by the stairs. Somehow pre-aiming, getting the shot.
Yeah, absolutely. He's just making these really smart, quick plays. It's confidence. Something Kix was talking about the other day is how much confidence matters, and Joystick definitely has it.
Well, Lems, I think IDK will be playing to a very similar fashion.
Except for this.
Of course, have to clean up the CCTV, and Leon is brought in. If you're Identity, you would have loved to have a Legion in this position, but not the case.
And it wasn't even banned.
Yeah, they'll have the Echo, not the Maestro. Echo still pretty good to deal with that blitz as well. As Leon finds the camera, takes it out, and he'll just set himself up right outside. They still have the Thermite to play with. Believe that they've taken the bandit batteries. There we go. One of them is already down, so they can set up to take down the reinforced wall here. However, they're gonna have to be afraid of the two defenders that are eyeballing it very close. They try to find the shoulder of the blitz, but cannot. Ah, there you go. They lose at the bandit battery. Cannot contest the servers here from above. Lems very quick, falls back, and Leon finds the hit on Shockwave to bring him down. The advantage now the way of IDK, but Joystick come around the side, and do they know that he's coming in?
Nope.
Gotta be careful. He tries to find the head, but no damage will be done to Stizzy as Joystick will have to fall back. But because he's unable to get the kill, he will alert his opponents as Lackey throws in the grenade to take down Karizeka.
This is looking like it could be over before it gets started here. Losing the smoke here, all depending on the Echo and the C4 Bandit at this point.
We're at a minute 10. Losing the smoke, as you mentioned, definitely not the best spot. Joystick getting naded down to half health. Of course, with Identity being low on manpower, they will have to forfeit position here. Nemea will throw in his C4 and will not hit. Have to face against Leon, and Leon goes in for one, can't get the second, but Lackey will refrag. All up to Joystick as he comes up, finds Stizzy in a 1v3. Can he get the shot on IQ in the back here? Lackey, he's not gonna get spotted. Well, he does actually. Joystick coming in and still coming up strong on that 1v1 fight, but little to no health here as Meepy. He can literally throw the magazine and he'll get the kill. Meepy, there you go. He finds the shot, takes down Joystick. And the first map will go to overtime 2-0, the way of IDK. And Identity, I have to say, that was impressive play from the whole team in general, but Joystick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Joystick and Leon gets stopped. How are you so good?
Yeah. So far for me, the biggest weakness that I've seen is, unfortunately, in Shepard's Echo play.
20 kills.
Yeah. And 3 assists, too. Why not just throw those in there? Well, either way, though. Yeah, Shepard's Echo play seems to have been the weakest. And I don't mean like he's the worst. He's not dying super early or anything like that. He's not making a lot of rookie mistakes. But he's also not denying these diffuser plants. And when you have 2 yokai drones, that's beyond just your 1 job. That's your 2 jobs at that point. If you can't get one of those to deny it, to be fair, they have an IQ. They have the ability to catch those. But nonetheless, you're seeing sometimes how late in the actual round. Okay, if they've got the wall open, gee, I wonder if they're going to plant there, Milos. I don't know.
Your job as the Echo at that point is like you're working night and day to feed the kids.
Yeah.
Because you're a solo parent at that point. And it's the Echo's job to just stay on it. Unfortunately, the Jaeger couldn't get the kill in CCTV, in the office.
Yeah.
And because of that, the Thermite stayed alive, and they kind of had to watch their back, because all that the Thermite had to do is just watch and make sure they don't get pushed from the side.
Yeah.
At the end, it was close. It was way closer than we were expecting.
I still feel like if Shepard had been able to delay the plant, we probably could have just seen Joystick just go and kill all of them.
It wasn't the first time that it happened. It happened a couple times before that as well.
Something
to keep in mind for our second map.
something to think about. Either way, though, I think Edenity played a good game, and it goes on to Coastline now, which is something we have yet to see. I think IDK play.
IDK
no, I'm sorry,
play
Edenity play. Sorry, I had it the other way around. Edenity have not played this yet during the qualifiers. So IDK were one of the early purveyors of this map in the EU. They were one of the top teams, I think, that played it pretty well in EU. You know, they had a very good coastline defense. That penthouse defense that we saw become the meta was when I remember them pushing very early.
Quite a while ago.
Unfortunately, that was quite a while ago. In this case now where coastline as a meta has changed quite a bit since then, and IDK have just not been as great on it as they used to be. Now, of course, when you play against teams like Orgless that play it very well and things like that, you're going to struggle a bit more. But with Edenity being the unknown here, that could be interesting because we've seen throughout the qualifiers, the bans from IDK have been pretty standardized. They're either banning Glazimira or Ying and Mira like 99% of the time. So the big wild card for me is the bans coming out from Edenity because they've been a little more all over the place in terms of the qualifiers so far. So if they've been paying attention to what IDK have been doing, especially on Coastline since they've shown it twice, can find a weakness in that and ban that weak operator, this could be Identity's map because they have the intel, they have the edge and the advantage, and the predictable bans coming out from IDK.
Yeah, and I want to add to that, saying that the momentum was not one-sided on map number 1. So if Identity can actually take the ball and keep rolling with it, we might see it spiral out of control for IDK, just like it did against the Orgless.
Oh yeah, that was a bit of a spiral. Yeah, for sure.
So you got to be very careful. If you're IDK, you're not out of the water just yet. I think if IDK take map 2, they would line themselves up for a 3-0, but they cannot falter early on. It depends, as we were talking about this yesterday with Intero. Well, actually, this morning, basically.
Every day.
Every day is Rainbow Six Day. But we were talking about this where every single map has its own, specific sites that favor one side or the other, but operator bans. Those might just win or lose your whole match, or this whole map, and pretty much jeopardize either one of these two teams.
Yeah. One thing that could be interesting is we have seen, I don't know, ban Blackbeard once against Slavjan, however you pronounce her name.
Slavjan, yeah, Slavjan. Polish team.
Yeah. So there was that. That was a little bit of a different way of doing it in terms of like, I don't know, maybe he's going to be, they're afraid of him playing the window or some of those other angles, something they've dealt with in the past. And the reason I bring that up is because, when they banned Ying against Orgless, that's predictable. Banning BB against a team that's a little more unknown makes me think that banning Blackbeard might be more of their default instead of banning Ying on this, because the Ying was probably more of a specific thing. But either way, we'll see it with, I don't know, banning first. Will they go with Glaz, Blackbeard, or Ying for the ban on this? I mean, it didn't work out so well for them banning Ying against Orgless. They still lost that in a 6-1. Blackbeard, okay, I was right. Blackbeard is their standard pick for this in terms of not having a specific operator to ban against. However, Edenity have yet to show what their picks are on this. Will they go with the Glaz, or do they got something more fun in store for us and leaving that Glaz on the board, which I don't know are probably comfortable not playing with at all. There we go. So a Lion has been banned a lot on this map.
Yeah, makes sense. I mean, we talked about Lion being banned. We talked about a potential loss of the Dokkaebi. The Jekyll, not really a great operator to play on here, unless you can combo with a Glaz and with a Ying. But still, Dokkaebi pretty much gonna be better when it comes to clearing out the roamers. Defense, we might see a Mira ban.
Well, I guarantee I don't know ban Mira. There you go. So that was a mistake, I think, from Edenity, unless they just didn't have anything else. Because in this situation, I would say with like 99.9% certainty that they're gonna ban that Mira. If you don't, and take advantage of that. It's a free ban for you at that point. Because they have the final ban, just take advantage of that, ban something you don't want to deal with. And now because of that, they have to deal with the ban they don't want to potentially deal with.
So and we've seen how strong the Jaeger was, but on top of that, not only like the pure fragging ability that Joystick had on him, but also those ADSs not being available, especially when you're going to have to defend Kitchen or the Penthouse. Yeah, good luck. Because the fact that IDK have been bringing so much explosives, well, grenades on that the attacking side with the Zofia, with the Buck, with their IQ, it's going to be very difficult to play against. So, Identity still have access to the Glaz. Maybe they'll switch them out. But with IDK, they are starting, of course, on the defense. So their setup is very much for when they go off on the attacking side in 5 rounds.
Yeah.
But it's IDK. They are used to playing without having a Mira, as you mentioned, but also them banning the Jaeger means that they have stuff in mind to play with.
Absolutely,
there you go.
though.
Maestro 6th pick.
That was the case of, I don't know, 100% winning that operator ban phase. And then we talk about sometimes people winning in the map ban phase. That was, I don't know, just winning that phase because we saw how good Joystick was on Jaeger. I mean, it's like if they had banned Ash as well. It's just, if you ban this, I mean, the guy had 20 kills. If you ban his main operator, you just kicked their feet out from under them. And it didn't have to be like that. So unfortunate situations like that, I know we sound a little exasperated, but it is a little frustrating to see sometimes from teams that I know are well-educated or smart, know what they're doing, and maybe there's more to it than that, but at the same time, it's just possible they were too busy to do their homework to know that they did not need to waste that ban. Either way, though, the round has started, and as you mentioned, I don't know we're going to be on defense first, starting in Penthouse, what I was just talking about. They used to defend a lot, but it's going to be different, of course, because they don't have the operator that kind of kicked that whole thing off. And they also don't have Jaeger, which means grenades are potentially going to be more of a problem. But that also means Namia has more opportunity here to use those Candelas to really go in combination with the Dokkaebi smoking and the Glass smoking as well. So it could be a little bit of a storm of an attack without that Jaeger. So
oh boy,
he can take advantage of it. However, Shepard is definitely doing so. And,
hey, let's contest the Glass and the ACOG.
I bet they're wishing they'd banned Glass now. Either way, though, nice start there for Shockwave. Following that right on up with the other DMR. Not a good start for IDK. And you were talking about momentum and things like that, and now the momentum's swinging over to Identity side, but we have seen them lose rounds where they have early advantage like this. So,
listen, when you're playing on a site that relies on a lot as well on good turtling,
yep,
it's still a possibility to take it. However, with players being downed, two of them in this case for IDK, they cannot really contest anybody that goes into the hallway or pushes in from the back into the stairs.
And they lost one of their ACOGs as well, so that's some angles they can't fight.
Meepy, very aggressive here on the smoke, though will have to fall back.
Also,
damage.
Yeah, that's a good way to get him pushed back because he can't risk taking that fight. Unfortunate for him. There are some phones that could go for the hack. We don't see that as much in Pro League as we would like, but I feel like it's starting to trend up when there's a situation when you're safe as Dokkaebi and you can hack a phone. Might as well, right? If you know they're playing Valkyrie here like they are with Lackey, get those extra cameras, make them shoot their own black guys out at the very least, especially because that could potentially disable their roamers to an extent. So if they can take advantage of it, they should, because they have the man advantage right now, but hey, those phones aren't all in the best position. Glaz is in a good position here. If he can combo the smoke well, Candelas are going to come out here in just a second as you see the smokes and the phone hacks starting to come out. Looking like attack about to come down in the last minute. And there's a smoke baited out from Meepy.
And Shockwave setting up his drone as well. So they'll have to use that bathroom and combo the smokes to push in. What is that? Just running around Joystick no matter what can always get the kill. So a Lems that's going to get a few tags here on the attackers, but it's a 2 versus 5. The Candelas will get thrown into the back as the the attackers have so much manpower, they're playing from below, and they still get the kill. On the smoke, it's last man alive now, the Maestro of Lems. You see him do a decent chunk of damage, but you know what? You still need to ace the round to get that diffuser away, and there's not a lot of time for you to do that.
Against the Glaz, too.
Unfortunately, this round will pretty much 100% go the way of Edenity. IDK will have to rethink their strategy completely. It definitely did not work out here, going for quick peeks when you let that Glass go, but Lems gets one, and Joystick, again, how do you deal with Joystick? I think it's time to really bring out the Legion.
They should have just banned Ash and Jaeger. At this point, I wouldn't even be worrying about Blackbeard. Just because do whatever you can to disable Joystick.
Okay, slow him down. What do you get? Legion.
Yeah, absolutely. And they had the Legion last time, but they 6-picked it to Maestro. I mean, to be fair, Maestro did live the longest, but
I would bring both a Legion and a Maestro. I honestly think that they are extremely important for the defense. Yeah, when you have to face against a player like that, the Legion is not someone that'll be stuck on cameras the whole time. You got the Maestro, and you have the Echo to do that job. You'll use the Go Mine to make sure that you don't get pushed from the back. They're
doing it again. No, they don't want that Legion.
We're playing on Penthouse. I think, yeah, this is the mindset. So either you turtle in and bring a Legion, or you do the complete opposite, which is roam even harder. And that's why you see the Vigil come out for IDK.
Now in this case, they're not bringing the IQ on the Identity side, so they won't at least spot the Vigil as easily, which is, I guess there's that in this case, but no one bringing the Pulse yet either, despite it not being banned. But it's when you bring a Vigil like that, that tells me you want to go a bit more roaming than you had previously last round. That 6th pick, as you were mentioning, Legion I think might have been maybe a more effective choice, especially with Dokkaebi having some potential to hack those black eyes and make them a little less useful.
Yeah, but it's still two faces of the same coin.
Yeah.
Where, okay, how do we stop it? We either get more aggressive with a Vigil and try to shut down the roamer, especially the Ashe in this case, joystick, or we get a bit more turtle-y and we try to slow him down with a leash.
Now, the fact that he threw a camera out there, we could see some peaks similar to what we saw from Hot and Cold. If you remember where he would run out onto that the patio outside there and get some kills occasionally that way. It is a risky thing to do, and it might still get spotted, but without the IQ to spot those as easily, there's a chance that those might still stay alive, and Stizzy actually pre-firing the hookah door as well. It just will give them a bit of a pause, and that will slow their entry a little. However, it is going to have to come down to either Stizzy or Lackey potentially getting an early kill here. I mean, last time we did have a Shockwave and Shepard getting some nice early kills, but Shepard decides to rhyme the last round and repeat it right there as he gets his initial kill. Stizzy not going to be a threat after all. Imagine all of his cameras probably did get thrown out, but either way, they're mostly at this point just to help Lackey try and stay alive on that roam.
Not banning Glass in 2018. Low.
Ooh, there we go.
Leon, he gets the kill, playing the ACOG to his advantage. Has to fall back though, because Karjika has spotted him, and he'll give the information off to Shepard. Oh boy, no.
So close.
He's spotting him through, and he's trying to get the angle, and Leon will go down, but he can revive himself, of course. He is a Doc, and he'll get spotted again. He goes for the 1v1 fight. Leon can still survive an extra couple of shots here just because of the amount of health that he has. Nobody's able to push him as well. Goes into the back of the hallway, and this is an angle that Shepard might not be expecting.
Still, though, going to see that bright yellow highlight. So Glaz has the advantage through the smoke, at least. Fortunately, he's not going to peek it. So now Leon, the smart play is living a lot longer here. Due to that, that burned up a lot of ammo on Shepard, as he is now down to about 38 bullets left. But he's got a heck of a pistol.
Yeah, it basically has a pistol that's as good as his OTS. So.
Yeah. Either way, Joystick doing his duty downstairs as well. This is where Lackey needs to somehow counter Joystick, but trying to counter Joystick, much easier said than done.
He's just still going to be playing around the lobby. And Joystick trying to open up the floorboard here to look through into the projector room. Lems takes quite a bit of damage in here as he falls back. And they realized, okay, we're dealing with the Maestro. Let's just try to make his life as hard as possible.
Well, they could do that by opening up the other side of theater. But Lackey is the one playing over there, so they're not going to get that chance. But they don't have a Bandit or a Mute to stop any kind of a Hibana charges. But Leon does get a kill there, making Lackey's job easier.
Yeah, Joystick eliminated. So now Edenity will have to play the long angles as both the Dokkaebi and the Ashe eliminated. And they cannot really go for calls or go for super aggressive plays. Karjika going in for the plant on the side as we'll have his teammate to help him out here against that Maestro Evil Eye. But from the back, you'll see the 2 kills going the way of Nemea on the T95, and they'll eliminate Leon's Doc. Lems will have to peek in, but he is on half health. Even me being half himself goes in for 1, and no, he turns around. Shepard, that was only a down. They can still go for this here. They can hear the Maestro if he goes for the defuse, but he has a bit more time to go. No, Nemea's ready for him. I'll spray right into a Lems, and Edenity will get the 2nd round in.
And a nice round at that. A little bit of some misplays, but overall, it's very solid. They're just having so much trouble countering that Glaz. And they've got to be so used to banning Glaz as well. They're just not used to dealing with them at this point. And, I mean, it's not been a perfect job from Glaz. And Leon did a great job living and getting the kill on Joystick from it. So that roaming Doc of Leon was definitely a big thorn in their side for that round. But overall, the roam play just not doing a whole lot. Outside of killing Joystick, pretty much all the attack is focused on that balcony through Hall of Fame, as well as the window. And it's just, unless you got that run out as that smoke there, which unfortunately was ill-timed, it's just so hard to counter because there's no other angles for them to fight. Yeah, they maybe had a black eye outside to be able to see a little bit more, but nonetheless, they just are not able to make these runouts happen. And well, the only person you're even getting a potential kill on is Joystick. And if he can win those fights, it's a tough spot to be in. But nonetheless, they are going to switch bomb sites to Hookah. So they're saying, you know what? That is absolutely not working for us to defend Penthouse. Hookah is usually, I think, a little bit better bomb site from, or first secondary from Kitchen. Even Blue Sunrise, I think, has been a bit better.
Yep.
However, Hookah is one that I think teams are getting more comfortable playing as a third site. It's, I don't know. I mean, we'll see if I don't know go down another round on this bomb site as well. I really think they need to switch to Kitchen or Blue Sunrise.
I think their Blue Sunrise will help them quite a bit because on that site, glass is not as powerful.
Limited angles.
Yeah, there's limited angles. You can reinforce things to make it a bit more difficult for him to peek through. You know, and obviously using a smoke, using an Echo, a Maestro are extremely strong on that site.
What you get instead is you get the glass upstairs firing through the floor.
Oh boy.
Which is always fun to see, right?
Oh boy.
Well, some remodeling happening here from the Deke.
It's the Sim City. That's what you call it.
The Sim City.
Yeah, it's actually a technical StarCraft term, by the way.
Oh, okay.
The Sim Cities, how you set up your defenses around the position that you're defending.
Your industrial zones, your residential, your commercial.
Your RCI, yeah.
Your roads, what you bulldoze. Either way, though, Joystick doing his thing.
He's going to try to bulldoze his opponents, that's for sure.
Yeah, Joystick certainly does. He just takes control of bottom floor. That's why I almost feel like they should just play the bottom floor. Because Joystick's just like, bottom floor mine. It's just his. I mean, yeah, he did get killed last time, but to be fair, that was from upstairs, so bottom floor his. Either way, though, they're doing a lot of play from the courtyard over the roof. Their attack not as strong, I would say, on this bomb site in terms of knowing exactly how to push it. This might actually work a little bit better because you can't push it as strongly from the outside as we saw from Hall of Fame on the last bomb site. Maybe there's a chance that, I don't know, can use some of those outside camps, actually get some ability to perhaps run out because they have to take control of Sunrise to be able to make sure they're not going to get runouts on them from below.
Oh, no, there we go. Speaking of peaks and runouts, it's quite a decent bit of damage done to Karzeka there. At least now they know where the defender will be coming from as he rotates away. And Joystick will try to catch him off. It's, one breaching round will get used. It's odd to see you know, the breaching charge is only used to frag hunt.
Yeah, he's just playing it like a buck almost. Karzeka, though, has taken a bit of damage already, below half health now. Not great. Leon trying to rotate it. I like that they're comfortable with these jump out rotates that they're using. Don't always lead to a kill or anything, but they do take away a bit of map control. Now Joystick's going to have to worry about him, as well as Meepy pushing around here.
Oh, no. Do they know that he's set up on his own inside?
He does.
There you go. Easy kill. Doesn't even need to ADS. Unlucky. Ooh. Getting a team kill there.
Unlucky.
It's Identity to get one Stizzy with the refrag for IDK, but it's still a 2 versus 4. Not an easy position to defend. The Diffuser's going to get planted. Stizzy unable really to do much as he's running around to try and save the round, and Shockwave gets the last one. Easy round for Identity. Absolutely demolishing IDK.
And this is a team, again, coming from not playing this map during the qualifiers. And maybe it's because the other teams knew better and just banned it because it is not looking good so far. I mean, this is only on one side. This is the attack side here, but it has been certainly attack-sided. I mean, we did see, you know, a 3 defense round in a row from IDK on the last map, so this is, you know, far from a super hot streak. But it's been such a good start, and now they've lost Hookah as well. They are doing what I said, which is, I mean, obviously I'm not telling them what to do, but they are going down to Kitchen. Yeah, no, I am. I'll be honest. All right.
Exposed.
Yeah, but they are going down to Kitchen, and will they stick the frost pick? That is the question. I mean, that's the thing is you kind of you can put it on the windows and things like that where they might go for jump-ins because jump-ins on the Kitchen window are pretty useful as well as pushes into Sunshine or Sunrise, and they are going to stick it and instead 6th pick over to Valkyrie. So
maybe it's they're trying to mind game Identity into thinking that they're going to go away from the frost.
I mean, that is usually the obvious thing to do. So. The only thing is, though, it's not like you're not going to catch one of those drones, or I mean, one of those frost mats, or the character itself on drone at some point and be like, oh, guess what? They didn't. Okay, now we know to watch frost traps. That didn't last very long.
Even with that,
yeah,
it still works out.
And that's the thing is, like, and I was glad to hear you guys like warming up a little bit 6th pick yesterday, but because I do think there are opportunities that are good to use it, and that we're still seeing a slow burn on that. that was not a great opportunity. The reason being, you're not going to force a counter pick out of them. You're not going to force them to do anything different because they're going to drone just the same, unless you've got this like super genius mat spot that they're just somehow not going to see. You haven't gained a lot of advantage by doing that, other than saying like, hey, you know, we didn't 6th pick that one. Which other one did we 6th pick? You know, it's just, I don't think you gained a lot out of doing it. So either way, if they just wanted to play Frost, then whatever, you didn't. But I mean, the 6th picking the Valkyrie is just, I don't know. I mean, they're not going to bring IQ anyways. I don't think they're going to see Valkyrie be like, oh, we got to bring IQ now. Like, there's not a lot of other counters, and they're going to bring Dokkaebi either way. So I just don't think they got a lot of utility out of doing that, which is, you know, hey, do what you want, but there's a feature now that you can use to your advantage to help compensate for the reveal of your operators.
Well, the drone comes in from Nemea. Just looking through, he's oddly enough, he's doing using a green dot sight instead of the usual ACOG that you would see. Now, it depends on your play style. Players that are on the Ying will, it's pretty much a 50-50 split.
You should just, if you're going to run a close range sight, just bring shotgun, like Hungry style, right?
But a lot of Ying players have like differing styles of play, and when you're running with a low zoom optic, either a triangle sight or with your hollow sight, then you're able to do quite a bit of damage up close. Yeah. Because you're focusing more on your Candela throws and to set yourself up for attacks and quick rushes onto.
Well, usually that means you're going to be the one to push it. Now, he's not carrying the diffuser right now, which makes me wonder if he is or not. But at the same time, yeah, absolutely. And I think that means you're planning for those close range engagements, which are more often you're going to be the one running into your own Candelas.
Leon holding the angle. Oh, unfortunately for him, there was a crouch that he has to deal with it. And he'll still make it happen. He'll stick it onto the Ash. And there you go. Even the drone being picked off.
Poor. He didn't do anything.
We all know that the drone was the most important pick in that engagement. That's for sure.
Well, either way, smokes are starting to come out as the push starting to come out of the kitchen along with the Candelas. Lackey, though, going to stop it. That is 2 men down as Stizzy gets a 3rd.
Shepard trying to eyeball the back, and there he'll get one on Meepy through the smoke. But he'll come on into the site. The engagement range of the glass is definitely not something...
Get the pistol out.
He goes for the flick, can't really find the shot, and still going for the OTS. He'll get shot down by the 9mm there. T-goal from Lems. Last alive is Shockwave. Diffuser is not planted. He hears where defenders are, but he can't really finish them off, and you see the goo mine even being thrown up. Stizzy getting the kill from above in VIP. You know what? Great start for IDK. They absolutely shut down this attack from Edenity. It seems like they found their groove, or at least their sight.
No, you know what it is? They listened to both of us. They went to kitchen because I said so, and they brought a Legion because you said so, and he got 2 kills that round.
Exactly.
So, you know what?
Listen to the casters one day.
That's it. That's all you have to do, and you just win. But either way, now they cannot play that bomb site again, which means they have to go back to Hookah or Penthouse. But Hookah, they decided, you know what? We'll take another puff, see if we can win it this time. But it was definitely a tough one last round, so we will see a mute this time here from Lackey. Will they 6th pick off something? Echo and Maestro does mean we'll probably see a couple of big guys hanging around the site with a potential roam from Leon and Lackey. Will Lackey go for that 6th pick Vigil? Perhaps. We'll see. The reveals have come out now. The tension mounts? No.
Nope.
Nope. All right.
Echo Maestro Smoke. The mute makes a lot of sense.
Oh, yeah.
The Valkyrie, now, I think one of the most important things defending on this site is having some C4 to play with, because most definitely the mute's got to be playing by
protect your bombs from being
by the bar,
by
the pool table bar right at the side, and you can peek in correctly and use your yokai drone information to chuck a C4 inside and get 2 kills off of it. And that'll definitely be a huge boon. That's exactly what had happened a couple days ago, actually, when IDK played that perfectly to their hand and were able to take down Orgus on that 1 round.
Hit the 1 getting. So far, it's looking like a repeat of that match, as I don't know, are so far only 1 point in.
Even if they take this round, I mean, okay, this is it. Looking at the bans, do you think that this is more of a defense or attack sided half?
Well, given what we've seen in terms of the ban that came out against Joystick, just because of that, I'm going to say this is definitely more attacker favored in that you see Identity are doing just fine on their attacks because Ash was not banned. But now on their defense side, they'll be weaker. Obviously, the loss of Mira as well. Lion and Blackbeard are not essential on this, and Glaz is still in play, as well as Dokkaebi, and those have been both important, as well as the Ying. So all of the ones that are actually really stronger on this map, outside of Blackbeard, I guess, are still in play. I mean, that's not to say you don't see some great Lion and Blackbeard play on this map, but there's still so many ones that compensate for that, whereas the defense has been disabled, I think, a lot more. I mean, this feels attacker-sided, not to mention, well, there's been a good demonstrator that with 3 attacker wins so far. So chances are we'll see a repeat of last map, where we get a bit of a flip side once we get past this 5th round here, because after this round they switch sides. I don't know, we'll have the advantage, because what will Joystick play? That's the big question mark. He's got to be comfortable on a 3-speed. Will we see him take over a role like Vigil or Bandit? I mean, I gotta imagine he's got to play something like that. I feel like Vigil could be a very strong defender for him if he can't play that Jaeger, though.
Well, Joystick, he's still frag hunting. He's been so efficient at it.
Not 20 yet.
Yeah.
He'll get there. Without Jaeger, though, I do wonder a little bit more, just because we don't really know, because how often does he have to deal with Jaeger getting banned against him? And
maybe we'll be playing a mute.
And if it works this round too, I mean, if it works out on this map, I could see next map them just being like, let's ban Jaeger again. Let's just keep doing that.
All right, well, Edenity will come into the aquarium bar. You hear the first yokai coming up as Joystick still getting the kill on Leon. This is turning into more of a, hey, you're playing as Smocket, you better ban the Ash so Alive can't play it. This is very much a similar way. It is absolutely scary.
I think he got more kills on Jaeger than on Ash, but at the same time, yeah, I have to agree.
It's pretty much the same thing. Come on.
It's the flip side of that. But yeah, you don't get the ACOG on Jaeger like you used to, so.
Thank God.
The quote-unquote fake good old days. But Joystick's still doing just fine, and that is 2 men down from I don't know. This could be a 4th victory, and that would be a very strong start for Identity off of last map going so close to 7-5.
And Candelas, smokes, and all the flashes are going to get thrown into the pool table as Karjeka will try to go for that diffuser plant, and they're running in with a T95.
Well, hello.
This is absolute perfect execution from Edenity onto the site. All they need is Alive to run on up and spray, and getting the kill with the R4C on the Echo. There we go, round number 6. Both teams now will switch sides, and IDK will be on the attack. And if Edenity take 1 round, they put themselves on a map point. The only way for IDK at that point would be to win. Well, to win would be to tie it up and go overtime, just like we saw on the first map. This is a lot closer than what we expected.
No, this is definitely very strongly in Identity's favor here. Joystick going to be on Bandit, so that was one of the 2 that I figured was a good possibility for him. Kind of, Bandit plays in some ways slightly similar to Jaeger, and you see them sometimes playing in tandem, but definitely not exactly the same. So that means that someone else is not going to be playing Bandit. I can't remember if it was, I think, Namia that was the Bandit before. We see a 6th pick over to Ying there from Stizzy. See how that goes out. They are going with the Maestro Echo combination, though, and Meepy going to be one on that Glass. We'll see if he's as effective as Identity's Glass was from, I believe it was Shockwave? No, Shepard.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
We'll see, though. They are going to bring out the Buck play here. Leon, a very good Buck, as we saw on Border.
Yep.
Will he be as effective here? I mean,
they've been setting up for it. That's why they banned the Jaeger. It makes a ton of sense to bring in the grenades, though in this case, they only have 1 set of explosives.
It's because, of course, they had to replace IQ because they were going to be bringing the Dokkaebi, the Glass, the Ying. So I can see why there was not room for those extra nades when you've got plenty of extra utility that's worth it. Smokes, as well as Candelas and flashbangs. So yeah, I think it was a worthwhile trade, though, for not having IQ.
Alright, we'll see how the setup here is in from Edenity. They're opening up the entirety of that blue bar.
Figure out where you want to put that thing down. Interesting, though, to notice that Shepard is not the one on the Echo this time. And that was something that we were talking about last map, was a little bit of a struggle for them. Let's see if he does a little bit better, and Shockwave being on the Echo might work out for them. See Shockwave doing a pretty good job. Karjeka, the one actually struggling a little bit on this map in terms of kills. As we saw him kind of come alive towards the end of Border on that Habana play, but not so much earlier.
Well, 6-12 here by Stizzy. I think gotten a bit of inspiration by our main man, Hungry.
Yeah, that should be fun to see. Like you were talking about with the in regards to the playing with the 1x optic. going to be playing in close and aggressive. Now, of course, you can easily hide behind that bar, so he's going to have to get a Candela behind that bar as well if he wants to blind Maestro. And that's where the ADSs would come into play, but Jaeger not going to be in play. So nothing really to stop that, other than shooting him, I suppose.
Lem's looking. Yeah, inside he's going to open up the door to ease the way of his into the side. But Joystick will get the kill on Lem's Leon, though. Will refrag. He gets one on Shockwave. So the Dokkaebi being lost to the Echo, I see that as an equilibrium of a trade. But Stizzy still is alive. He can chuck in his Candelas. And you see the smoke turning around. He'll have to face to the 612. And Stizzy will already win in that. There's still the evil eye that is trying to burn him off as Meepy will go in for the diffuser plant. Joystick, though, is detected and will have to run in from the back. But Shepard will find the angle. He'll find 2 as well in a 3v2. There's so little health left for IDK as Stizzy, last man alive. Oh, he's just already down. Got to take down the diffuser. There we go. Everybody shut down.
Body's pinned to the wall. Well, this is looking pretty good for Identity, I would say.
This is looking like a map. This is the one map where I'm like, you know what? This can really go Identity's way. Looking at how IDK were really uncomfortable playing on it versus Orglis.
This is looking like a pretty much a mirror what happened with Orglis, where IDK got like 1 round, and so far that's all they have to show for this. With Joystick even able to rotate as he was too, that was, I mean, I definitely think the switch up worked. I mean, to be fair, the Echo died early, so maybe Shockwave on Echo was over aggressive perhaps, but either way, we definitely saw much better work from Shepard on the Maestro as opposed to Echo. So I think that worked out for him. Kitchen as well, they're going here. Now, this is the problem I had with IDK, was they stuck to Penthouse. Didn't work, did it twice.
Yeah.
Hookah, didn't work, did it twice. Kitchen, probably where they should have started, the only bomb site that worked, because if they had started on it, they could have played it again later. Whereas the fact that they played it when they did meant they could never play it again.
Yeah, you still have to think about the side rotations.
Yeah, you really have to plan those. I mean, obviously, that's assuming they didn't think they would win, you know. Obviously, they think, oh, we'll win Penthouse, it's fine,
Did you
or
just
Hookah.
assume?
No, I'm just going to assume, because I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, exactly.
Meepy, unfortunately.
That's the top of the team with
big
0 frags.
Doing some utility work, unfortunately. Playing the Glaz last round and not getting any kills. As you said before, though, Bar is a difficult one for Glaz, and that absolutely worked out in their favor. Don't know if, I don't know, anticipated a Bar pick. Probably did not. As we mentioned earlier, Identity did not play this map during the qualifiers, so I don't know, we're in the intelligence deficit here, and it seems to be working out for Identity because I don't know how to predict what they're going to play. Now, Glaz is a lot more useful on Kitchen. You have that nice long angle from delivery. You can also play on the windows. That's one where Blackbeard's very strong as well.
Combo that with the fact that there's a Ying to be used, and obviously you can, because
you can play at that desk right there.
Yeah, and the holes that are being opened up by Edenity in the bathroom. Well, if you're chucking one of the Candelas onto the side, that entire bathroom will be completely flashed.
Yeah, absolutely. So if they can read into a lot of that defense, they can make this work here. They also have the ability to sync gadgets now that Lackey's going to be back on IQ. So I think they have a pretty good lineup for this. The question is, are they as prepared to attack against the way Identity are defending it or not? Because, like we said, the delivery push could be very, very effective. But you've got to deal with Joystick, who was seemingly just as effective on Bandit as he was on Jaeger. As much as we were worried about that really being a hamper to him, it has not been. So, I mean, we've only seen 1 round of it, but it looks like he's just freewheeling around the site just as he was before.
Attackers recovered the
Leon on the drone. Shockwave will get shot down early on. Lackey all the way from the top.
He's no Leon on Doc.
Yeah, even running the hollow on his 5.52. So, so far, so good for IDK. And honestly, they kind of need it here. They are 1 round loss away from being tied 1-1, which will guarantee a 4th map in the best of 5 series.
Yeah. Also, Identity are giving up VIP a bit easy in terms of not blocking them from being able to attack from above, especially with a bucket play. That also gives the ability for the Candelas to be thrown from above or even used fuse style.
Yes, because you can do that. Not a lot of people realize that you can.
It's because they banned Ying against Hungry now.
Yeah, and Ying was, well, Hungry was, I confuse him. I literally just call Hungry Ying nowadays.
Yeah, at this point.
Hungry just is the man that revolutionized the way of playing Ying and kind of reminded everybody, hey, you can actually use her fuse style, which means you can set things up and time them correctly to push even from side stairs from the cool vibe stairs. But here we go. 1 kill will go the way of Leon Gids as We'll see the trade-off on to Lackey from Joystick. Seems like no matter what operator he gets, he can still do the fragging game, and Stizzy comes in, takes down Nemea. It's a 4 versus 2 in the favor of IDK. Edenity low on health themselves. They'll have to engage the Cool Vibe stairs. Joystick cannot find anybody just yet. The flashes will come into the Maestro, the kitchen, and they cannot find him just yet. Shepard comes in.
No.
Gotta aim down sights. Lems will take him out, and Joystick last man alive here. IDK losing Leon Gitz, but that diffuser should get set. Joystick falling back and trying to find an angle to contest this diffuser plant with 20 seconds left on the clock. They'll have to jump down the Cool Vibe stairs and contest from the main doorway leading into the kitchen. They'll hear him as he moves into the barbed wire, and all the cross angles have been set up by IDK. Lems will get the last one on Identity's Joystick. Finally, IDK will put a round on the board, and not a moment too soon.
Unfortunately, just that was a little bit of the early loss that the kill that Lackey got was a good start for them to begin with, right? Because they were already on a round where, you know, they've been struggling in terms of getting anything going on. Getting that early kill gave them some momentum and let them take advantage of the fact that they could get better map control at that point. Once they did so, yeah, Joystick was still just running around the map killing them, but their sight defense got so weak at that point because they were giving up all of, well, pretty much all of VIP upstairs and letting Joystick kind of run in hookah billiards area. Yeah, he was still being a problem for them, but not the problem that he needed to be in terms of getting those kills. Because once the plant was down, it was very much in their favor, unfortunately, for Edenity. But Edenity, we're going to go hookah. Instead, they're going to go penthouse. Now, they can go back to kitchen because they lost it, but deciding, you know what, we can see the holes, the flaws in doing so. So we're going to be a little more proactive than I Don't Know will be in terms of switching sites. We'll see if they can hold it off better than I Don't Know did, because they didn't successfully hold it once.
We'll see how IDK put the glass to work in this one.
Still, though, you got to get 3 rounds here from I Don't Know in a row just to stay in this.
Yeah, Glaz plus Ying, and the fact that IDK are bringing both the IQ and the Buck makes a lot of sense. Of course, we talked about that Jaeger ban. This is going to be very important in terms of opening up the sidewall to go in for a plant right on the bed. So,
or even a theater wall if they want to go for a pinch, which I think more teams are starting to consider, because you get so many people, like if they're going to be playing at Maestro, where do you think he's going to be? Most likely he's going to be in that theater where it tends to be a little bit safer. Just use one X-Cairo on that wall to deny some of that safety. I think it absolutely is worth it, because if they can't sit safely in theater, they can't stop your push nearly as effectively, because they can't safely go throw a C4 over the bed, for example. So we'll see. I mean, I think it's like when you open a garage and then still push from wine on Chalet, that kind of thing.
This is the Zephyr angle.
Zephyr. Maybe not getting a freebie, unfortunately. Lackey not getting one early as well. Shockwave, though, already so low on health. They have plenty of time left for a reset if they know where he's going. And that's the first pulse being played, and the first pulse dead. Maybe does get the kill.
The back of Meepy. Of course, Leon still by the service entrance. And you see, Edenity are pushed up pretty close up. Leon finding the headshot of the Nemea as he tries to rotate away and save himself in the middle of the map. Though blue bar important as well, part of the defense. You'll see Joystick playing in there. We've seen the damage that he can do, but at that range, when you're contesting the kitchen, your MP7 is not doing a ton of damage. You're looking for headshots.
He seems to be able to find them plenty often enough, but yeah, the range is just not the same. The recoil as well is going to be a bit different than when you get on the 416 that he's playing usually on Jaeger. And I mean, he seems to have warmed up to the MP7 just fine in terms of playing it this round. But like you said, you know, contesting such long sight lines like you're doing here, you know, we saw some more effectiveness from the Doc Roam for that reason, because of the long sight lines. Leon, though, could be, or not Leon, but Joystick could get killed here. Now that he gets droned out, they're going to know so much damage on him.
He'll run through. He takes even an extra bullet. How are you alive, Joystick?
Reset him. Just throw something at his face. He's not even going to bother. You know, he's done just fine on low health, though, to be fair.
All right, grenade's going to get thrown into the back, and this might be the finisher. And there you go. Karachika will go down. Joystick Get down as well by Meepy. Zlaki is rotating in to test from the stairs. He hears the maestros, even spots the bullets. What a bit of hip fire here. Playing, there you go. You can just keep hip firing, and that's exactly what Shepard's gonna do. Of course, with the Alda, they set me here. If you put a laser sight on this gun, your hip fire is tight as a drum.
Yeah. Something to consider.
Shepard moving on is the glass is not caught off to the side just yet. But there are 3 angles really for him to watch. Shepard can of course use his cameras to his advantage there on the evil eyes, but he's running out of time and he'll need to get onto the side. Now, unfortunately for him, Leon Gids will be ready. He'll find the angle through the just Hall of Fame as he's crossing over. Bam, easy shot. Everything, of course, is planted for the window, the bathroom, and for the Hall of Fame doorway. And IDK getting closer and closer to tying this up and taking it into overtime. 5-3, but remember, one mistake here, and it's all over.
Well, they're going to go back to old reliable here. Decided kitchen and penthouse did not work with this attack lineup here from I Don't Know doing so well. So back to bar it is. This is the question, can they win this? Because obviously they only have to win 1 more round, and then this map is over, and we are tied 1-1 on map scores. But, yeah, it's been a bit of a struggle for them the last 2 rounds. They seem to be getting a little sloppy, a little spread out. Shockwave getting picked off early definitely did not help. And there's a 6th pick over to Ying. Should be interesting. But it is a bit of momentum lost. 6th pick over to Legion, though, might be something that helps them here in terms of slowing them down. We saw what happened last time when Stizzy finally went with Legion, right? Got his 2K.
Yep.
So something I think is a very good operator on this map because of all the choke points, all the hallways, all the different angles that are kind of forced to be traversed by many of the attackers. The doorways and the hallways that meet as well. There's so many places that you're gonna pretty much guarantee they're gonna walk on a goo mine, as opposed to a lot of the wide open areas you get on certain other maps. So I think it is a good operator for at least using those choke points to your advantage. And the stairs as well, cool vibes, a great one to have the ability to know if they're going to rotate down on you. Of course, most likely going to take control of Hookah. The last time it seemed like they tried to fight a bit more on the inside in terms of pushing in through the doorway and less from the top. They might go a little more top heavy this time in terms of their push, especially with that buck of Leon being able to go up there. Hopefully they don't give up Hookah as easily as they gave up VIP on Kitchen.
Leon Gids again on the buck. We've seen the amount of work that he can do on this operator. IDK not really changing anything in their operator setup.
Nope.
Try to just crash into Edenity. Now, it's not just brute forcing it that won them the last round. It is a lot of tactical plays, droning and making sure they push those roamer out of position.
Individual
Falcon, yeah, we saw those. You get 2 kills early on.
Yeah.
You're 100% sure that the last 3 will be on or near the site, and you can contest them very easily with the 4 frag grenades that you have. The fact that you can play the range game as well, having that glass, you have your candelas as well if you're going to get up close. Everything is in your favor, but you need to get those early frags.
Absolutely, and it's a case where they've been able to do that successfully 2 rounds in a row now. I mean, they did lose the first round on this bomb site, so it is definitely going to be a big question. But they are starting to work their way over towards Hookah here, and this is where joystick needs to be the problem. Now, they're at least spotted on that joystick already getting Stizzy. That is going to deny their ability to open up any walls, and that's sight lines for Glaz, as you were mentioning earlier, already difficult, now denied. But Leon does trade it back on to Nami, and so no more Black Eyes going to get put up. And Lackey, unfortunately, can't find that kill there.
LM's just spraying in with his T95. Trade it off for 1-1, but obviously losing Stizzy there in the Habana is quite a big loss for the team as we head to the minute 20-second mark.
Man. Oh, unfortunately, that didn't go the way Leon wanted. Though he's got plenty of skeleton keys left, so no sweat there. Either way, this is definitely slowed down quite a bit. Now the joystick's still alive and has taken down the Habana. Now they have a lot less to work with. But joystick doesn't seem to need a lot of health. Fortunately, he has 0 now. Leon, his arch nemesis here, getting that kill.
That was a great lineup. Oh, yeah. I don't even know how Leon was able to get that frag, even though the tap from the bandit was perfectly aimed right at the buck. Still, it's Leon that'll come up top.
They need to kill Leon because the amount of pressure he's going to apply from the top, and at least Shockwave take it down 1. Unfortunately, he's traded back, but hey, that's the Legion getting at least 1. They are down Man advantage, though, in IDK's favor.
Now, problem is, because you have to deal with a Ying that still has Candelas and, of course, Meepy to play at range, this is not an easy position to be in. Leon from above still getting the kill. Candelas will go into blind, the last defender alive, but Shepard is nowhere to be found. They have opened up the entirety of the blue bar to assist in their shots into it. Shepard will get tagged as he cannot finish off Fuser Planter. And Leon on Cool Vibe stairs again. Leon Gids, are you kidding me?
Well, you asked me earlier if I thought this was attacker-sided or defender-sided, and I said attacker-sided, and I think it's been pretty well confirmed at this point with two defensive wins total out of all of these.
Who would have thought your analysis would be on point?
You get lucky sometimes. Rolling the dice. But either way, Bar for the third try here. Now, it was successful once, failed once. Now they get another chance. I think they put up a good effort last time. They lost too many of the 1v1s. And it really came down to, I hate to put it on one person, but that Lackey versus Joystick fight. Or not, but Leon versus
Leon,
sorry,
yeah.
Too many L's. Leon winning that changed around for me.
Yep.
Because in that case, it wasn't just the fact that, they had the man advantage, they lost Joystick, who was one of the strongest players. It was also that they had the buck for upstairs pressure, along with the Ying, and it's just, they had, the operators that they had left were all very strong in terms of their utility. So, another 6-pick to Ying, are you going to surprise us with that?
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many
Anyway,
bombs
Same
as they
setup
can.
here from IDK as Identity are bringing the mute in this as they're going to be defending in the bars.
Now, the first round, the round that they did win, they brought the Echo. But that Echo was ineffective in terms that he died early, and it was down to the Maestro that was able to live the whole time. So Shepard staying on the Maestro, I think, is a good choice here. He has been proven to be much, much more effective on Maestro than I would say he was on Echo, at least on Border. But either way, it's down to Shockwave now to prove that he can play that mute, because he'd struggled on the Echo previously, despite them winning that round. If he could turn that around, again, this is the only point they have to win on this particular map to move on to the next map.
Yep,
so
that'll guarantee a map 4, that'll tie it up 1-1, but IDK can win this round and then take it to overtime, where
that's
in
what they did
overtime,
last time.
Yep, and last time, as you mentioned, they won overtime in 2-0 fashion, because it is a small best of 3. So we'll see. We'll see if IDK can actually tie this one here. So far, this match has been neck and neck. Yeah,
absolutely. It's definitely been, well, I mean, very one-sided in the terms of attackers winning, and that just came down to the lack of Jaeger. It's definitely been hurting, I think, both teams. I definitely hurt I Don't Know, and it's definitely hurting Identity as well. So it's a big question mark whether or not they can finally win around here, because again, all they have to win is this one round. They've played this bomb site twice. They've won it once. This is the one bomb site they've been able to win. Just need to stick this, play it smarter.
Oh no, Shockwave! He'll get the kill on the mute, and that's Leon eliminated. A lot of damage done to Joystick, but he's not dead just yet. Stizzy realizing their awkward position here will have to rotate around into the hookah balcony.
Now much more in Identity's favor, and a chance this could be the end of the map. But, I mean, again, that doesn't guarantee anything, losing those guys. It's a case where, you lose Joystick and you can still save the round, potentially, things like that. But taking down Leon that early means a lot less map control and a lot less ability to play from above and use hookah to your advantage. Not to mention, they're still trying to control hookah, and it's still taking them a while because Shockwave has just buried himself in there, bunkered up in hookah. And look at this, a minute 25 left, and they seem to be struggling to figure out how they want to coordinate this attack. They might even have to waste 2 of their Candelas at the very least to just push under this deployable shield and still just barely win that fight. Namiya, though, killing Joystick, that was probably the worst possible thing you could do.
That's not how you reset.
That is, unfortunately, that
might cost them this round.
Yep.
Take them into overtime as IDK are now 1 man up. Now, sure, Alems has used 2 of his Candelas, but
and the loss of the buck as well.
Yeah, but he's still alive. They don't have a ton of time to reset, and I don't think they'll be going for that at all. I'll try to flood into the site, but he has to deal with players coming in from security. That's why I'll set up his Claymore, and IDK will come in and open things up to make it a bit easier for them to use the floor to their advantage. They don't want to deal with Shepard by moving in directly from the window. They'll try to contest them from the top.
Well, that failed reset didn't cost them the round just yet, but man advantage lost. Glaz still alive. Hibana, IQ, Ying, all these operators with terrifying power and candles coming out along flashbangs. So smoke, plant's going down.
Is immediately going in for the diffuser plant, but he'll get taken down. The diffuser will get picked up yet again. Lackey taking damage, but he comes in right to the side. He gets one kill. He cannot get the second on Shepard. Now it's a 1v2. Shepard sprang right on in to turn it into a 1v1. Diffuser's been set, and it's all on Elems, who's not been performing too well this matchup. Shepard on the Maestro with a ton of rounds to play with. 24 here against the Ying that's on the floor, lying in wait. Shepard taking his sweet time as he jumps right into Elems. And the round will go the way of IDK to tie it 5-5. Ladies and gentlemen, map 2 will also go to overtime.
Well, it is now our second mirror match here. Last time on Border, we had a 3-2 and then a 2-3, and then the switch of who won attack and defense. Now we're seeing the exact same thing here. We saw both teams win one defensive round and the rest attack round. So it is perfectly mirrored to again an overtime. So will we see again a 7-5 like we saw on Border? In this case, or last case, it went to, I don't know. Could we see a flip of that? That would be interesting to see Edenity go with the 7-5 this time. Now, last time we saw it go to overtime, we saw Edenity start with the advantage in terms of winning their attack closely, but barely losing it at the very end. And then, again, we see them going on to bar. Unfortunately, this time, this is the disadvantageous situation here, because despite them getting close to winning that bar that time, they have yet to win bar a second time out of 3 attempts now. This is their 4th attempt. And last time they had the advantage, getting Leon off early, and then completely threw that away on accident with the kill onto Joystick, which, as you pointed out, was probably just an attempted reset gone wrong. But either way, Shepard, though, doing a good job this time, as we were kind of knocking him a little bit, but he's up to 10 kills this time on this map. So he's definitely been showing up, which is nice to see that it's not just all on one particular player. But I think Edenity needs to bring this back. This needs to go to a flip 7-5 for Edenity, so we can see just a nice little mirror situation going on.
Well, Edenity is setting up here. Yeah, that is very much the definition of a long arm on the Valkyrie.
Yeah. Gumby over here.
5 seconds left.
Deployable shield as well. I liked the deployable shield play last time. You saw how much work it was just to kill him behind that deployable shield. Shockwave just, like I said, bunkered down.
So basically all that he's going to do if he plays from behind that deployable shield in the same position is on the cameras and nothing else.
It's a great way to use the deployable shield to an extent, as long as you have at least one of those cameras to know if someone's coming to get you.
IDK sticking to their same attacker operator lineup.
It's worked 4 out of 5 times.
Yeah, don't change a winning team, right?
Yep. Doesn't stop NA.
that's actually very true. But Lems coming right on in. Leon missing the shot on the Maestro of Shepard that peeked in a bit too aggressively, and Shepard will get down. Leon does not know that, but maybe he'll get the confirmation that he did.
That's an important kill, because Shepard's been doing at least as much work as Joystick. At least Joystick gets the kill to trade for Shepard's death.
Diffuser will get set here. Meepy holding things off as nobody from Edenity can really peek through, and they just spray through that puff of smoke. Elems getting the kill on Joystick, and the thing is, IDK take damage, but they are still alive. Meepy gets one more with his OTS, and the last man is Nameya, 1 shot away with the OTS if need be. Will get spotted, and will try to use the Ying as bait to his advantage to get an extra one, but finally executing Elems. But Meepy, what a round for Meepy on the OTS. Shut down opponents of Edenity and put IDK 1 round closer. All they need to do is defend correctly.
Well,
1. They did it once. Can they do it again?
Well, I mean, it took 4 tries on bar and still couldn't repeat their success. So, will they go kitchen? Yes, they will. Okay, good. So they're going to try to repeat their success, and they're going to bring the Legion. So here we go. This could be the 7-5 yet again in I Don't Know's favor. And despite them being close, we could maybe even see it go all the way to a 3-0 in I Don't Know's favor. So, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know about it. I don't know. Please change your name. Please get an org.
Yes.
Do us the favor.
For the love of God.
At least Biggity Boobop got Continuum at one point. Capcan, something I remember seeing the Capcan last night as well. It's fun to see occasionally. Now, when you bring 2 trap operators like that, One of them's bait, and last time it was Frost to Valkyrie. Like, this switch to Valkyrie again, they should have mixed it up. I don't think we saw a lot of effectiveness from the Frost. That being said, though, the submachine gun is very strong still. It is a good gun, very low recoil, even nice at long range.
Is pretty sweet.
Yeah, no, it's a good gun. It's just the traps themselves. You can get lucky with them, and we have seen a couple of great, like, very last round finishers from some of the Pro League teams catching someone in the Frost trap, but it is so seldomly done. It's just, I don't know. I mean, I just feel like there's so many other operators to play. Why? You know, like you're not, I don't know. Especially with grenades still on the board and no Jaegers stop nading, you know, chances are you might even nade some of those mats. We'll see though, but if history repeats itself here, we're going to go to map 3 with 2 maps under I Don't Know's belt, and that will be on to Oregon, which is a map that I would say, I guess could go either way, because we've seen both teams win it once and lose it once. However, it was definitely a little bit of a struggle, I think, for them versus Vitality. Like, I don't know versus Vitality as well as, actually, no, both times it was lost, it was versus Vitality. So Vitality beat both these teams on Oregon. Now that I'm looking at it correctly. So, interesting. That was the one weakness on Oregon for these guys. So, I guess the question is which one of them can be a little more dominant. Because we're going to see Oregon either way.
It is map number 3, so we'll get to see it at the end of this one. Yeah. Maybe a map number 4, depending on how Edenity do this, but they need to win 2 rounds in a row. Their defenses have not really been effective as IDK really have mastered the attack.
Yeah, I mean, they can, Edenity have a good chance of winning this attack, but can they win the defense to follow it up? Probably not. Might see a 7-6. We'll see, though. You never know. The attack has gotten slowed down a bit, but they have a lot of intel. They have some positioning, but everyone's stuck outside a bit here. This is where a jump out from someone like Joystick could catch them off guard. However, that window not open at the moment. Well, not Joystick. I'm sorry, Joystick's not on defense, but I mean, someone might play like that. Namiya, though, going to get a nice early kill. Leon Gids down. Good start. That is the evil Doc of Leon Gids.
Well, that's him off of his lair in the penthouse. Stizzy on the Legion. He'll actually sit himself in the same position that Doc was in, trying to play the mind games against his opponents on the attack. Joystick, though, coming in from the side, realizing, you know what, there's nobody playing in the bathroom. I'm just going to come on in here, and he'll get sprayed in. Lems cannot take him out, but the flash is coming in perfectly from the Ying. Lem sets up. C4 is going to get thrown in, and boom goes the Weasel. That is Kajika down on the floor. Unfortunately, Joystick is ready for the kill. The Diffuser will get picked up, but IDK are a man down, and they can be heard thanks to the call. So Lackey rotating around. Nameya getting the kill on Stiz, who jumps around to try and contest things. Lackey, does he know there's one in the back? No, he does not. Diffuser's on the floor, and Meepy will get shot down by Shepard. Ladies and gentlemen, this will really go all the way as we head into our 13th round. And maybe that's the one that'll decide. I mean, yeah, of course it will, but still, just trying to see if everybody's still on their toes.
Yeah, no, everyone's still here. All right, cool. We got plenty to go. Well, Penthouse from Edenity. So that was, again, one they did not win, but they only tried it once. Now, trying bar 4 times and only winning one of those, you go, maybe we should try another side again. This could be the one that throws them off. And the Finka, is that going to stick? That is an interesting choice coming out from Lems. No, it's going to get switched over to Hookah. So, Hookah, will it be the one? Will it be the savior here? Hookah, actually, now that I think about it, is the one bomb site they did not play. So this is the wild card here coming out from Edenity to throw things off a little bit. No, Lems. You big chicken.
You know what? I look at this lineup. This is still a very strong lineup pushing into Hookah.
Yeah.
I can see the ways that it can fail, but it requires great C4 communication in place.
Well, we'll see if they can hold this off. Because if they can, that's a great victory in terms of going into the next map to do what is the insurmountable defense on this map so far. Because they would be the only one to win 2 defensive rounds.
Yeah, and Canadian was talking about this a couple days ago, actually, with Intero and himself. We're having the big round table talking about the matches that were live and quote-unquote casting them. And he was saying, you know, Coastline, if there's a map that you get 4 rounds on attack in, it's Coastline.
We've seen that quite a bit, really. It's definitely not been unheard of, especially with operator bans have really made that the case.
5 seconds remaining.
There should be reinforcing at least one in the middle there. That
looked like he was pinging that.
Attackers recovered the bomb diffuser. Attackers must locate and defuse
a little bit of a
the
camera
bomb.
throw out there. They are going to potentially spot that. They did see the window get open, so they're going to know there's a camera out there. Lackey going to be potentially spotting it at some point. So unfortunately, that camera from Shockwave not going to be super useful. But at least Shepard's still on the Maestro. That's been working out, but not Shockwave on the mute this time. They're giving Nemea that job. Instead, Shockwave's going to take over Valkyrie, something he played a bit last map as well.
He's trying to find an angle there, but not sure what's set up in the back. Maybe it's in a camera?
Is it a bird? Is it a plane? Either way, looks like a lot of people on site. Joystick, of course, is going to be off site, because when would he ever be on site? Oh yeah, when he's trying to clutch at the end.
See the mute jammers that are set, and
Bomb located by attackers.
He likes that Lamborghini door lobby area. It seems to be one where he's playing a lot, either on attack or defense.
I mean, attacking anybody that's set on his own in
which they usually are.
Yes, that are set on their own inside of that security room is very tough, and that's why roamers will stay there quite a bit when they don't have the opportunity to play anywhere else.
It's just too bad those the CCTVs don't actually work, right? Then you wouldn't have to actually switch cameras. You could just stare at those.
You could actually. There was a game that had that way back in the day. I think it was CSS. That was ages ago. And you used to do that. Stizzy missing the shots there. Free kill basically. Could have gotten it through the blue bar, but Leon will get the one on Nemea. He turns around on Shepard though.
Wow.
Getting the kill from the side. They have dropped the Valkyrie on the floor, but not able to finish her just yet. Lackey spraying into that security room, as you'll see the Valkyrie picked up to 50% health.
All right, so slight advantage at Identity, but we've seen them lose in this advantage a couple times. But this time, Joystick doesn't need a reset just yet. So this could still work out in the 7-6 for Identity. Attention, though. Joystick, he's just going to be free-flowing here.
Oh, they spot him.
Oh.
That's exactly what they needed, and they will contest him. Shots will go his way, but no! LM's falling to the floor as Shockwave gets one more IDK. Might have just thrown this entire round out of the window. Spot one, but can't get the shot on Bandito. Lackey will get tagged, and Shepard taking him out all on to Meepy. The IGL, the team captain, whatever you want to call him.
Call him dead man walking at this point.
Very much the case. Identity close to taking it, and there you go. Joystick proving to be an insurmountable obstacle here. Identity will take the map in spectacular fashion, spectacularly close map to say the least. Well, 7-6.
The fact that they won 2 defensive rounds, that's why they deserve the win. I mean, they started off on the disadvantage in the overtime, and yet still managed to pull it back. So, fantastic play from Identity. I mean, they definitely earned their spot back up there.
16 kills.
Shepard, though, like I said, really showing up that round. Whew.
And he's playing the Maestro, but Joystick in 2 maps has had 34 kills.
Ban Jaeger all you want, I guess, huh?
You can ban whatever you want.
Yeah,
the man can do it.
As long as you leave him a 3-speed on defense. So either way, if they banned it 2 somehow, you just play Vigil then. So what are you gonna do against a guy like that?
He's too good.
Yeah. Either way, it's those rounds where they could take down Leon early and not lose Joystick. Easy win.
Maybe that's something to keep in mind for our next map. So coming up in just a few minutes, we'll be back for this matchup. Don't go anywhere. Well, you can go.
But come back.
But come back, because the popcorn takes a couple minutes to be done.
Yeah, but you put it in the micro, you press the popcorn button, say 3.5 ounces, whatever. Come back.
There you go.
I've done it before.
You have the instruction delivered directly to your doorstep.
Popcorn analysis.
There you go. We'll be back in just a few minutes for the continuation of our matchup, tied 1-1 between IDK and their opponents of Edenity to make it to the Paris Major.
Stylish on the outside, savage on the inside. Legion by Lenovo.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to a matchup that has been extremely tight so far, with 2 maps both going into overtime. But welcome you again. I'm Rassam Somatic Finch. Joining me, as is traditional, Devin Emzo Becker.
Yeah, it's
we got a great game. It's pretty tight, and we're gonna go into map number 3 in just a second, because map 1 on Border, just a second. There you go, on time. Border was map 1, went to overtime, was a 7-5 victory at the end for IDK. And then we go to map 2, Coastline. IDK were down quite a bit, and then they brought it back. They took it to OT, unfortunately. Winning only 1 round is not enough. The 2 after in the overtime went the way of Edenity, our Russian team here. You know, this is a team that has decent chunk of experience back in the day. And as we head into Oregon, Lion will be the first ban, and the second one will be Glaz. Not surprising at all. Lion banned in all 3 maps so far.
Yeah, the only time they really varied from that in IDK, of course, as you mentioned earlier, when it was against Orglis, and that was to target ban Hungary. So Glaz, of course, going to come off. Now, this is Edenity, again, having the opportunity to not do exactly what they just... Oh, no, I'm sorry. This is... I don't know doing... Okay, so Edenity have an optional ban now in terms of they can ban what they want to ban, knowing what I don't know are going to ban. So if they can do something against what we saw, I would say ban Buck. Just target ban Leon at this point. I mean, hey, they did it to you. Fortunately, Pulse going to be the one to go instead. Unfortunate. But either way, and I also wanted to mention someone I didn't give a lot of credit to last map, but I feel like was a little neglected, which was Elms, and I think he did a fantastic job in that last map as well, but he just didn't get the attention that Leon and Joystick do, as well as Shepard. So, you know, figured I could throw him a little shout out. Why not? He did pretty good. But starting in the dorms, so we will have Edenity on defense first.
It is not a site that you usually would see first.
Yeah, Laundry's been, I'd say, right now, despite even with the bans, like, it's been a lot of the downstairs first. However, 6 pick there. Not going to stick the Blitz. No, unfortunate. Not going to stick the Castle either. So a little bit of switch up there. Not too surprised to see the Dokkaebi. And that is one that they have, like, specifically when they played against Chaos, Identity did, they banned Dokkaebi because they didn't want to deal with it. Fortunately, now they're going to have to deal with it from I don't know. So maybe they're going to wish they would have banned it instead of Lion. However, either way, they're both kind of similarly annoying in terms of dealing with your roamers. See what they go with here in terms of a defensive setup.
It's nothing out of the ordinary. Reinforced showers, just so it's a bit easier to hold on to those like stairs. Nothing too different from Identity. I want to see how they set up Shepard again. Again, I love seeing Maestro plays. I think there's still a lot of ways that he can be explored and used. And Shepard is definitely being, pushing the envelope.
And we have seen even quite a few Evil Eye stunts so far. We haven't always seen them very, like, you can kind of hear them going off, not always see them directly, but there's definitely been a case where it has factored in. It's just not been downing people or stopping a plant just yet the way that Echo can. So, you know, it's impactful, but not, like, game-changing. However, as ACOG on that LMG, I feel like it's a little like with Jaeger. They're just going to eventually take his ACOG off. Now, I don't think his ACOG's super necessary. I think his LMG will be strong even with the Hollow. So, like, that wouldn't be a huge nerf to him, but it still would be a case where, yeah, maybe they should probably take it off. I mean, to be honest, he's been so strong on it. I do feel like it's probably a case where just at least tone it down a little. However, you know, they've said before they like to make operators fairly strong on launch and then tune them from there. So we could see even a mid-season reinforcement change to that. But that might be extreme, taking one more ACOG off of the defense. We've been deficient with those outside of Echo. A lot of shots coming through, trying to find people here, just no one being spotted just yet.
Maybe looking through the drone hole, trying to find maybe somebody playing inside of the showers, and there is nobody in there, except for Leon.
Well, he's not going to be on Buck for once, he's going to be on Thatcher. We'll see how that works out for them.
Alem's in the kitchen. We've seen last time I got to cast these guys playing on Oregon, asking them at the end, like, what is the mentality to push in? Because every time it was Leon going in with the buck to take control of Kitchen, well, this time it is a bit different. You see Edenity losing the first player here on the Jaeger. Leon expecting him on the side of the school, cannot find him at all. Stizzy still joining in, but the man advantage definitely in the way of IDK after taking a lot of damage.
Especially in being joystick as well, you know, being the man down. I mean, he is back on that Jaeger now. Obviously, he can play it. I do feel like it's much better with him on the Jaeger in the sense that he's going to set up some defense for the rest of his teammates and then frag out. As opposed to Bandit, where he's going to set up a little bit of batteries, maybe, but Bandit's not always useful on every bomb site in a situation where, yeah, he was able to play him to effect in terms of, like, fragging role, but it also wasn't setting up as much defense for his teammates. So I think having a Jaeger now, outside of this round, of course, now that he's dead, will still be an advantage, although I guess I imagine he put at least 2 of the ADSs up. So I do think Edenity are in a better defensive position now on this map than they were previously. Assuming they survive this round with some momentum intact from the last map.
Lackey outside here. Balcony. Shockwave is going to get pushed up just a sec here. Meepy just diving through the window to take things down. He'll get a kill off of it, but it's not enough. He gets the second, and Lackey will go for the finisher 2-2, but he is getting tased by the Maestro in the back. It'll force the Maestro out of position. He'll get the kill, but it's the Maestro of Shepard that will win the round. And that's the last kills going for him. Oh my lord.
They need to ban Maestro. Shepard, like I said before, Echo is not his role. Maestro definitely is. It has been a fantastic play for him. We've seen so many clutches or clutch attempts from him so far just on that Maestro. He's just such a beast at the end of the round when it comes down to it. It is so much trouble to deal with. That gun is just, I don't know. Like I said earlier, I think it probably needs a slight nerf. Probably needs a little bit more nerf to the hipfire as well. As you mentioned, even without the laser, it's already good on the hipfire. Throw the laser on that thing, and it is just, you might as well just auto-click to kill someone at that point. It is very effective. And with 80 bullets, which, as we've seen before, they are a little hesitant to take down the amount of bullets in a gun, so that most likely did not change. We will see a switch down to Laundry, of course, because they won defense upstairs. They got a switch, and Laundry with the next choice. The big question for me is, will one of these teams want to try Kitchen, or will we just see Tower as the third defensive site? So that'll be interesting. I would love to see a successful Kitchen defense and just change everything. You know, a team just suddenly being like, oh, Kitchen's viable. Let's start playing it. You know, like we talked about before with Bathroom. It's just, it takes a while sometimes. You know, it takes someone to really just show it off well.
The thing that's crazy is that IDK are very, very efficient and proficient at playing Oregon.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure how those mistakes happened there at the end. They had the droning, they had the information, and just couldn't really find the Maestro in the back by the bunks.
Yeah. Well, if you look at the score lines between these two teams and how they played their Oregon matches in the qualifiers, Edenity have a bigger differential. They've done a better job of winning Oregon. Now, it was against different teams outside of Vitality, being the shared team. But even between those two, it was a case where most of the time I think they're doing a little bit better. Not by a lot, just maybe by 1 round or 2. But I think it's a nicely evenly matched map. And we've already seen 2 evenly matched maps. So it's like, it's really hard to call who's going to come out ahead on this. And we have to see 4 maps minimum because of the fact that we have a 1-1, which means we'll see new Clubhouse next, which will be interesting as well. So, unfortunately, no Villa today, but hey, at least we get Clubhouse. Best of 5 is still a juicy format. Unfortunately, Bank is last, so probably going to see that just off of the way these guys are so neck and neck. But you never know. Someone could come out strongly ahead.
We'll see an extremely similar setup from IDK that we saw in the previous round. Oh,
long angle.
They're trying to find it here at long angles. That's why, of course, the 7.62 excels at that kind of play. Slap on an ACOG on it, and obviously it becomes a lot better. But Identity are definitely realizing that they can play a meeting, play upstairs, and delay IDK for as long as possible.
Everyone just watching super long angles here. Though the fact that they start to open the castle windows, smokes are coming out, phone calls are coming out. Attack is coming imminently here. Minute 45 left. Oh,
trying to find the angle. Alems, though, with the ACOG will actually the one that gets the kill. Though Alems hears the player below him. That's a castle, and they'll have to contest him on the tower. Though Lackey is all the way in the back to drone in. The reason why you haven't really seen the Zofia getting off the position is because they're afraid of somebody in the attic, but Shockwave getting the kill on Leon running out and getting the shot on the Thatcher. It's I hope for IDK that they have used the Thatcher to clear out any mute jammers downstairs before they set up.
I mean, Leon knows what he's doing. I mean,
Not
he's
dead.
We'll see. I mean, I'm glad that Joystick's being nice enough to die at the first in every round to give the rest of his teammates a chance to get some frags. But maybe you want to stop that. They are starting to get a decent amount of map control. They have Armory side. They start to put pressure on the White Stairs as well. Controlled a whole bunch of the top. But Karzeka being allowed to hang out down here in tower does get spotted. Now there is 3 lifelines left, so he's going to have to move out here. But you know the stun effect is a little bit reduced between these two. So who will win this fight? Now he doesn't know exactly where he's at this point, but he might have a leg sticking out. It is a little bit difficult to manage your legs sometimes in prone positions.
Karzeka definitely can fight the 1v1s up close, and he'll hear it. He pops up and he gets the kill, playing a long waiting game against Elems.
15 seconds left.
Ooh, 15 seconds left.
Have to drop right into the site, and they have one in the back. Stizzy will get one. He runs right into the site, and he gets shot from the side of Shepard. Wacky getting one to turn it into a 2v2, 2v1 now, but he'll have to fight the last, and Shockwave gets the cleanup on Meepy, but Shepard, yet again, second round in a row. It seems like no matter what they ban, IDK always are facing an operator that they cannot deal with.
Yeah, in this case, I mean, obviously it fared a lot better without Jaeger on board. A lot more attack wins in that case. But so far, this map has been defense, defense. And again, that is without Joystick. He's dying early in the round, and the rest of his team is still picking it up. It's just due somewhat to the slow play we're seeing by IDK, as well as, you know, like you mentioned, losing the Leon on the Thatcher early definitely did help their attack, you know, clear out a lot of the gadgets first. And so we will see Tower. This might be where we see defense finally broken, but again, they only have to play the 3rd bomb site once. So we could see this be the only attack round success, and then we could see Dorms and Laundry win again, potentially from Edenity. Joystick going to be back on that Jaeger yet again. Now, this is a bomb site that's a little trickier to defend. You have to play a little bit outside to be able to successfully do it, as we've discussed a few times before. Those Evil Eyes could definitely come into play on this bomb site to get a little bit more sight lines on the bomb site when it comes to, are they trying to plant, are they trying to go for a smoke, things like that. Something you can do without having to be in the actual bomb site. So Shepard could be useful even if he's not the one on those Evil Eyes in terms of extra intelligence. But the Legion as well will be playing a part in that because there is so many controlled entry points onto the tower itself. You've got the doors, both doors, one on either side of the tower, as well as all the windows upstairs. There's plenty of points where he can stick those Legion mines to slow down any kind of push towards the end. And you saw with how slow I Don't Know's push was last round, that could really be a big factor in determining whether or not the push could be successful. But, of course, the bomb site itself is right open to the outside from 2 doors. Which means even if they're desperate for time at the end, if they can just smoke it and get enough control on that A bomb site right there, it's tough to deny without jump outs and some risky plays. However, the garage door as well can play a factor in that.
Well, we've noticed a lot when it's a tower defense is that the IQ will more often than not try to go to the bottom floor in the basement and try to play from there. Control of the basement is very, very important.
You can spot a lot from there.
Yep, and you can push up from the tower if you time things correctly. You saw the angle on the stairs that was knocked out by the defenders to try and have a look directly into the tower entrance. So if you can contest that from the stairs itself, you'll have an easier way of, as you mentioned, smoking and walking in and going for a plan.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, they don't have the Glasses, you know, playing this to be able to do any kind of play with that, but Leon take it down, and then, yeah, that is the Legion down, so that was one of the things that was going to be working in their advantage, now off the board. Hopefully you got a few good, well-placed goo mines.
3 goo mines, that's pretty much all he had.
Yeah, unfortunate. Pocket full of jacks. Smoke already being pulled out here by Shockwave, not the greatest play, and then Lackey taking down Joystick yet again. At least he wasn't the first to die this round. But
Shockwave even going down to Leon Gids. They haven't finished him off yet, but Karzeka is far away, and there you go, Leon with a cleanup. Shepard is on the floor, and last alive is Karzeka.
All trying to answer their phones. Not a great time to die.
Oh, this new generation, Devin, what are they doing?
Right?
Karzeka picking in here on the dock. The plant will go down upstairs.
Oh, no.
Second level of the tower.
Yeah, T2 Judgment Day, appropriately named.
All the grenades are going to get thrown in. Stizzy forgetting that the wall has already been opened up. Wacky will try to find the angle as shots at the Karzeka will come in. He'll eat all the bullets as he contends tell IDK are fairly afraid of his of their opponents. He pulls out the 44 Magnum there. Finally, he'll get eliminated. That was
interesting.
Hoot and a half.
Hoot and a half. Appropriate for rural Oregon. Either way, though, if you're going to lose one defense, that's the one to lose, and just swing it back from there. Now they can go back to dorms or laundry. Well, not laundry, but they can go back to dorms, which, of course, they will do. No reason to volunteer and play tower again. So here they go back. And then, of course, they can go back to laundry next round if they want to. Or if they win this site, then, of course, they have to. Because tower is, as you can see, not the funnest bomb site to play. It is winnable, but it is not easy. And this is probably one of the maps that's still left in the map pool that has the hardest third bomb site. Obviously, Cafe not in the map pool anymore, so that would have been a tough one for Bakery. But I don't know, maybe it would have forced people to figure something out. Anyway, it's tough though. It's just when you have all those windows onto a bomb site right outside of it, it gets so hard to defend when you have crossfire angles and whatnot. New clubhouse, of course, though, we will see some interesting bomb site defenses on that now that that has been radically changed, because those bomb sites that have the outside windows now also have some revamps. So some potential for changes in the future. Maybe you'll even see changes to Oregon at some point that make tower and kitchen a little more defensible. But nonetheless, teams still wanting to play Oregon despite the weakness of tower, because, again, you only have to play it once. Because of the new format, you're guaranteed one weak defense, and that's it. If you can win all the rest of them, if you can win attacks, you're in a good spot. It's not a terrible thing. So we'll see, though. Joystick needs to start living a little bit longer to make sure his team's in a more sound position. But nonetheless, they were able to win a couple of rounds, and unfortunately, Shepard...
2 rounds off the back of Shepard, pretty much.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely... And you saw him dying, unfortunately, last round. I think that was a great attempt by Karzeka, though. He really pulled out all the stops trying to survive through that.
Oh, actually, you know how a lot of times I'm anal about the pronunciation of certain names? Well, someone... So actually, I had someone DMing me, and they're like, just to correct you, it's Karzeka. You know, it said, hey, no. For me, it makes sense because I understand a bit of the Russian pronunciation, but they're like, it has to. It's not Karzeka, it's Karzeka.
He's Cars then.
It's like the J.
Cars.
Cars. Yeah, actually.
Cars. Ooh, nice spot.
Cars. It's an okay. I actually never watched the Cars movie.
Well, you know what? He's in it. That's you didn't know that because you didn't watch them. Either way, though, the attack starting here, they're very much about pushing from the west side when it comes to taking dorms, so this is no surprise to see them repeating their attack from last time. Joystick, though, if he could start winning these fights against LMs here, I think this could definitely swing even more so in the favor of Edenity, and not be, as you mentioned, so much off the back of Shepard, but they know the attack is coming down here. They just need to play it smart. I feel like Joystick just needs a little bit of support, a little bit of distraction to help with that, because he cannot win that fight when it comes to one-on-ones on this map for whatever reason. It's just not sticking for him. Namiya, though, a little bit of a position to try and refrag on it, is not going to just yet. They're going to slowly take control of Kitchen, but at least they're having to burn up a little bit of utility to do so.
Thing is no matter what, IDK are always going through the same motion to clean things up early on, and there you go. The Thatcher will be the first one to go down for IDK.
He needs to switch back to that buck, I guess. Phone calls.
It's not the end of the world, because they can still use the closet to their advantage to come in for a plant. And there, see Valkyrie running away with the pistol in hand. As if you guys do not remember, if you run in with a pistol,
yeah,
the SMG-12 and SMG-11 do not count. Then you run faster. I think is like 5 or 10% faster.
It's definitely noticeable. I would like to see a knife now as well, so we can just go with the knife running. The quick switch.
I always do that, actually.
Yeah. Just if you hit melee, somehow you get a little tiny speed boost. You're leaping forward with the knife, right?
Oh god, no commando launch, please.
Yeah, let's do it. All right, well, either way, this fight about to go down here between Lackey and Shockwave. Question is, who's going to pre-fire who the best is what it comes down to here. Lackey doesn't seem like he knows necessarily that Shockwave is there, but he's more concerned about the attic right now. And as long as Shockwave doesn't give away his position, he's at the advantage. Of course, if he knew he was there, he could pre-fire through the wall, but not going to happen, and the tension mounts. As 40 seconds left on the clock, Claymore's getting placed.
Ah, there you go. That's the call that they needed, and Lackey knows he's going to cook the grenade very safe.
There we go.
It over the side, right into the smoke.
Does get away with half his health left.
Yeah, that's half damage, and then he goes back behind the bed. Meepy, in the meantime, will get the kill of the SMG-12 onto Karzeka. Namiya rotating around as Shockwave has spotted a player in the back, but unfortunately for him, Elems has an ACOG. Definitely has the advantage. Namiya is still alive with Nitro Cell, last man in for the team, and Edenity. Can they see? Oh my god, no, oh no, the diffuser already has been set. It's all up to Nemea in a 4v1, but the stairs are already held here. Free fire from Alems as Nemea gets his head taken right off.
Well, now I'm glad I mentioned Alems earlier, because he's been showing up on this map for sure, too.
I mean, looking at, I'm going to keep asking you this, but like, what do you think about this this map with these bans? Do you think it is more favored towards one side or the other?
You know, I feel like the Glass and Lion thing on other maps maybe didn't matter as much, but I feel like on this one, the defense is a little more, I feel like this is more of a 50-50. And I know we've seen a 50-50 on rounds, but I just feel like there's plenty of opportunity. The defense does have one disadvantage, in like that I said, that they have to play tower. So the attack has one advantage they can take advantage of. Outside of that, I think we've seen so many teams get used to playing Laundry without that extra mirror that they're plenty used to it now, that it's not really as much of a disadvantage as it used to be. So I'd say this is a bit more balanced outside of that tower play. However, that being said, they can go back to Laundry, and so they will. And if they can win that again, I feel like this could go back to potentially being, you know, a good start for Identity because of that. You know, someone has to win the majority of the first 5 rounds, as I mentioned before. It can't go neutral. Well, I mean, you can get a draw round, but that is a very rare occurrence indeed. So, great play coming out from Lackey, actually, who's really showing up this map as well as Alems. And Shepard and Shockwave stepping up for where Joystick is unfortunately not doing so great. Namia trying his best, but we haven't seen, I would say, top-notch play out of him yet today. Although there's at least one more map to go after this.
I mean, when you have players like Joystick and Shepard on your team that are pretty much taking all the kills, there's not really much that's going to be left for you, right?
No, he's stealing all your lunch.
10 seconds.
Give me your lunch money. But here, we'll see a bit more of an equilibrium between the team. Identity definitely have not... I mean, the 2 rounds that they took were way too close to call, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So it was all up to that individual skill that won them the rounds, which still puts me in a position to say IDK are definitely running with the advantage so far. In round 5, they can get that 3rd one on the board, definitely would be a big advantage.
They shouldn't be, though, because what you mentioned before, and they're doing it time and time again, repeating the same attack strategies over.
Yeah, go to kitchen, open the wall, and contest. Exactly what's happening.
Yeah, I mean, this is, to be fair, this is why you don't defend dining. But at the same time, it's a case of Alems has been doing the same thing every round, and he's been one of the top players every round. Kill that man. You know, just take advantage of whatever knowledge you have, find some kind of crossfire, play 3-man on him if you have to, and yeah, if you get one of your guys traded off, it's worth it to kill Alems at this point. And I think that's what they need to be adapting to, and Lackey getting Shockwave early is definitely going to hurt them because he's been one of the better players as well on Identity. So this is just not going so great here of a start. I think the fact that they couldn't put additional pressure onto Alems, this will probably go the way of I don't know again, but be a bit close if Shepard can live. Because that could at least being flexible here. And Joystick, fortunately, again, pressured into a spot where he can't play his flexibility. And that's what we're not seeing from Joystick, is his ability to rotate around the map. Played into the last 2 maps, but is not happening on this one.
The calls come out perfectly, and it really does seem like IDK know what they're doing with that Dokkaebi, but Karjeka finding the headshot on Amipi as he rotates back. Leon peeking on in. Zofia charges have already been thrown inside and slowing down the defenders. Alems will get one on Joystick. Karjeka will turn off his phone, but they know exactly where he is at, though.
Oh,
no. They are giving information, and Leon runs right into him. In a 3v3, Alems is low on health. They need that diffuser back, and Fizzy will take it. Alems, beautiful shot here, but the Maestro will try to play against him here. He knows that Alems is low on health, and with 2 more taps, he can take him off the board.
Nami castling this late in the round. But they haven't taken control of the basement just yet. So this is, all the fight was over the top floor. Alems low on health. If they can just kill him now, this is doable for Identity. But, nope. Hatch is starting. That's a late hatch open. Even 1 disc left, oddly enough. Mute Jammer must have been the one stopping that.
And that's why you really put your Exkyros right on the side. They'll need to take down the castle barricades with the Exkyros as well, but you've seen what Shepards can do on that Maestro. With Edenity being a man down, but they do have an extra bit of advantage. They'll drive right on in, and Stizzy gets one. They'll deal with the Maestro. Alems with the last shot on the Zofia. Beautiful play from Alems to put IDK up 1 round and make it 3-2. As they will switch sides and will be IDK on the defense.
Definitely stick by what I said earlier. Shut down Alems. This has been his map. He's been the Leon Gids of this map for sure. In terms of just raw power, you got to shut him down early because he's been playing the same operator, doing the same thing in terms of at least the initial part of the round every single time, failing to shut him down. You saw Joystick die to him probably every time he died for the most part, whether it be a one-on-one or later in the round. It's just a big problem. Hopefully Joystick, though, being back on his other operator, can be a little more effective on attack. We did see, though, it only went 1 point extra for attack. So I don't know, are at the point advantage now, but with side switching, I hesitate to say this, but good chance we can see overtime again if things mirror like they have previously, the last 2 maps. So we'll see. They're going to start on Laundry Room. They're going to be bringing that Mute, and unfortunately not going to sticking the Vigil. They're going to go over to Jaeger. See how that works out for them on that 6th pick. That will be, I mean, we did see what happened when you didn't have the Jaeger on Coastline. Definitely a big disadvantage to not have, especially on a map with open windows and things like that. This bomb site, I do think, is one that definitely benefits from having the Jaeger because of the amount of throwables you're going to get going down that hatch. We will see an Echo finally coming out again, as Edenity had pretty much dumped playing the Echo because, well, Shepard was so good on the Maestro, and we had Shockwave playing other roles like Mute and things like that.
But it makes a lot of sense, obviously, to if you're defending Laundry, you really, really need that Jaeger.
Oh, yeah. And the Echo as well, too, just because you can stick in B site for so long without getting shot.
I like the setup from Lack.
Yeah.
So he's setting up his Mute Jammer right on the edge here just to make sure that the top part, it catches everything up top.
They're going to have to throw their drones downstairs, essentially.
Without really being able to take it out. Yeah, you're gonna have to be very smart with the way that you can deal with it. And if it's not detected, it can really slow down the information gathering from the attackers of Edenity.
Not to mention, if they go to throw it down like that and they're not doing it, say, from above via a hole, you can actually peek out at just the right time because as soon as you throw a drone, it immediately switches you to your phone, and it takes you a second to get off of it. So if you can catch someone throwing that, then they don't bounce it in a strange way or something like that, maybe a free peek kill, assuming they don't take that out. They are not playing a Thatcher, though. We saw Leon Gids playing the Thatcher every round last time on I Don't Know's team, whereas Edenity are just going without. Instead, they're going to be playing with the ability to spot some gadgets, but Nami on the Ying to try and push downstairs. That does spell a little bit of a rush plant, but they're not bringing any smoke operators. So that is a bit of an interesting play because we all know the effectiveness of the smoke with the Candelas, which is why, of course, Ying lost those smokes because it was just too darn strong. It's like that Thermite with grenades, right? So it had to happen eventually, but now not having any of the smoke operators on Edenity will make this a little less effective. I mean, obviously, you saw the strength of the Glaz before in terms of playing that.
I mean, there's 2 ways of pretty much blinding your opponent.
Yeah.
Either, well, 3 ways technically. 1, shooting them. 2,
it does tend to blind you.
Yeah, 2, throwing in smokes. And then 3, of course, those Candelas. If their whole screen is black, their whole screen is white, doesn't matter. They still can't see anything.
We could see a construction push, though, and that is where they might not need the smokes as much, because if you throw those Candelas into the B site, you can start to blind quite a few of them and then push down the hallway and get quite a few kills that way. But because they started droning now and started opening things up, that will be a lot more predictable. They're definitely going to read into it now, for sure. I mean, they do have 1 on the stairs here from Shockwave, and then Shepard pushing up as well. Flank here from Nami, it means they're going to drop the corner as soon as they feel like it's ready. He'll be able to throw those down, but they need to clear the ADSs before they can make this work. That's where these drones are helping out, looking for those ADSs, and they will have some Evil Eyes as well to contend with.
1 more lifeline to go, and that's an explosive one to take down the last bit of barbed wire. I'll set up a Claymore just in case they get pushed in from the flank. In the last few seconds of the round, they'll need to really get the... Oh, no, they'll spray right in, but Lucky will chuck in a C4 charge. That'll be the kill on the Ying of all operators right before they go in for the attack. A huge pick here for IDK, and Alems will get an extra Shepard. The refrag on Meepy. Joystick, yeah, he cannot be given that round. Sizzy comes in with the Supernova, getting the kill. Karjika, 1v1 fight here against Lackey, and he'll get shot down. Nicely done by IDK, playing for the retake at the end. And I was expecting IDK to lose that fight against the Ash, because if they had lost that flank, it would have been all over because you have a 3-speed running behind you. But it was so close that the last adjustment that came in with the bearing 9 really, really was important to win that fight.
Absolutely, and I mean, with such a tanky operator like that, you got to get the headshots because he can fire very fast with that bearing 9 as well. We all know rate of fire is a big factor in winning fights, even if you don't get the headshots.
Up close, yes.
Yeah, you can just throw those bullets like super fast. So either way, though, that was a bit of a close round, despite some of the kills going out, like you said, the Ying go down early and things like that.
I mean, honestly, that Ying kill was pretty much the way that the entire round was won.
Yeah, normally
all the ADSs were burned. The Zofia had already done that, and all that was left is blinding the defenders, forcing them off of the site where you can win those fights at distance because you have ACOGs, or they're just completely blind and going to run in and get kills anyway.
Yeah. I feel like had Joystick won this fight, though, that definitely could have turned around. Because you saw the way that they had to push against everyone else that was on the construction side. If they were able to get flanked from behind, that could have been a big problem for them. And we'll see. Karzeka actually going to switch over to Sledge here. That's interesting switch up. What? Shepard and Karzeka, or Karzeka?
Karzeka.
Karzeka.
Ja. It's a J.
This is like a little, it's like I'm in high school again here.
Is your high school level French?
Yeah, well, I wouldn't even call it that. More like a preschool level at this point. Either way, we are on a much stronger streak here. A 4-2 in favor of I Don't Know. We saw a bit of a flip side of this previously where I Don't Know had to come out a ton of rounds on Coastline, but they did so. So Edenity could do the same thing here. That was, again, I think that was a very close round for them. I think that was winnable for them, but just due to a few kills, Namiya, as you mentioned, getting killed, and then Joystick getting killed, were unfortunately what cost them that round, because otherwise I think they had a pretty good attack. And again, not having the smokes was fine, attacking from that side of the site. But they are going to have to deal with dorms this time. No, that was the laundry one, and they won that, so they cannot go back to that. So if they win this laundry defense, or dorms defense, they have to go tower or kitchen. So maybe that'll be the free round yet again.
The IDK have successfully played tower.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't really put that besides them if they are on the defense. Shockwave will be burning ADSs, and one more lifeline to use. That's
a lot of utility to use up at the beginning, but again, if you can clear out all the ADSs and offer the ability for Namiya to just be able to throw everything in, not to mention Karzeka gonna...
You're gonna do it anyways.
Yeah.
Right?
So that, I mean, that should work out for the most part due to that operator switch that they had, because they have so many things to throw into the site, even the smokes, potentially from Shepard, but it looks like he's pushing from Master Bedroom instead. He's got to be careful because you give away a lot of, make a lot of sound opening up all that wood. But he's actually going to rotate. Unfortunately, they did pre-open that. There we go. Nice Namiya just going into the side here. Fortunately, cannot win all of these fights as well as he'd like, but Leon killing Meebe in the meantime does work at so many trades.
A flurry of kills here with IDK left with 2 players alive, unfortunately for them. The team kill was not a great spot. Shepard will get one. Lems will get traded off at the end, and Edenity will put another round on the board. That was, oof.
Well, you know what? Namiya died first that time, but he certainly died for a cause. That was how you do it. Just go on in. Hey, everybody, I'm here in the kid's bedroom. What are y'all doing?
Yeah, all eyes were turned on him.
Yeah.
Rightfully so, but still, it's definitely no easy position to put yourself in here. And IDK, after having lost map 2, they need this map to push themselves over that morale edge that is so important. Edenity, I have to say, are absolutely a fantastic team here.
Yeah.
If they're facing against IDK in a best-of-5 like this, yeah, this is a team that I'm looking forward to seeing in Challenger League and quite possibly Pro League next season.
I mean, I kind of said it a little bit earlier, but while I love IDK, I would love to see Edenity make it in this and go to Paris.
Oh, now all you're gonna see are posts about
Raging fanboys.
Emzo, this guy.
So biased.
I don't like him. Biased caster.
Who's this Edenity anyways? No one cares. Yeah, well, either way, I think they've proven their worth.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Not just in this match, but in all the matches leading up to this, taking Vitality, taking Chaos like they did. They've definitely shown that they're worthy of this. However, like you said, there's a chance they could be going even if they lose this, right? Because of the way things work out. So
yep. So I'll remind you at DreamHack Valencia next weekend, because we have so much siege. We start on Thursday, we finish on Saturday, and if the top 4 teams that make it all the way through DreamHack Valencia are already qualified to the Paris Major, the losing team of this matchup gets a pass to Paris Major. It's obviously not the most honorable way of doing so.
But
it's still,
Attackers recovered
it's
the
still a
bomb.
solution
Yeah.
just in
Objective
case.
is to locate
And I
a
think it's
bomb
highly
and defuse it.
probable. I mean, this is not a North American DreamHack. This is a European DreamHack.
Yeah, where teams are actually qualified.
Yeah. Either way, Blackbeard coming out here this time from Nami and not going with the Ying instead. Interesting. Now they're attacking the same bomb site because Dorms was available again because of losing it. Leon's actually going to play, unfortunately, way too late. Joystick gets 2. What were you both doing up there? Too busy setting down ADSs. Unfortunately, those became tombstone markers for both their graves.
Just why?
Unlucky.
Why? And why are both of them upstairs?
Tower of Death. I imagine he wanted to stick, either they're putting the ADSs for Legion to be playing there, or Legion was trying to throw a new mine for. Yeah, that was obviously why. Cause I mean, to be fair, Jaeger has a lot of work to do during the initial round, but he was obviously didn't do a ton of it because he still had gear to put up. But that means now 2 ADSs are also now worthless because those were both stuck up there. There's at most 1 left. So Edenity.
Bomb located by
Ooh, if they
attackers.
lose this round,
Clear.
I don't know about them.
This is an odd choice.
Yeah.
SR-25 with a triangle dot. Where is your ACOG?
If it feels good, do it. Especially for Shockwave there. Another one down. Wow, it is all down to Lackey already, who is lacking in manpower against 5. Blackbeard the only one to even take any damage. Nami is like, Karzeka is like, come on up. Easy win. Flawless round, nonetheless.
That was Edenity absolutely demolishing IDK, and they tied up 4-4. This is, I hate to keep repeating it, but this really can go either way.
I would be pretty tilted after that round.
Oh, yes.
100%. Well, not just that one, with the last 2 rounds, because after you saw the push from Nami of the round before, that forced a team kill out. So you go from a team kill to losing 2 people in such a silly way up in tower. I mean, I don't know how good emotional control they have on, I don't know, in terms of recovering from some of those. But you got to keep in mind, don't have a coach anymore. They lost their coach at Feral.
Yep.
So that
because he went to Pentasports as usual.
They don't have someone to be like, you need to calm down, guys.
Yeah.
It'll be okay. It's just 2 rounds. You guys have plenty. You guys have Clubhouse next. It's fine. It's a good match. You guys will easily win that Clubhouse. You're good at it. Bank is fine. But there's not that. It's going to have to be up to potentially Meepy or one of the other. Maybe Leon will just pull out his haircut and calm him down.
No.
But either way.
Leon, haha.
Either way, 4-4 though. The comeback that we saw from I Don't Know in the previous map, looking like it's happening here from Edenity. Look at that. Lackey and LMs, despite their hard work, the kills are spread fairly nicely from Edenity this time, thanks to Joystick being so generous. What a good last round, though. Back down to Laundry we go. Deciding Dorms, not so great after those last 2 rounds on it, as they have yet to win Dorms. They've won Laundry, lost Dorms twice. At least they don't have to go to Tower yet. So, let's see, let me do the math here. I think,
5 seconds remaining.
no, they don't have to go to Tower. I don't think. Because if they, well, no, maybe they might have to go to Tower if they want to. I don't know. This game just gets more and more complicated every day.
All those numbers that need to be crunched.
Right? Either way, though, this will be an interesting round. The castle's coming out to try and slow things down. This is like the old strats where we used to see a lot more construction rushes, and castle became a thing to castle off the B bomb site to slow them down. That's what we're seeing here, but Joystick and Shepard should make easy work of castle barricades. Can't imagine those will be a problem. I imagine with what we saw from Nami in terms of that Ying, we might see them go for a construction push yet again. But looks like they're taking control of top floor first. We actually have Shockwave on that Capitao, which is interesting because the one time Capitao was banned was on this map by Edenity in their matchup against Vitality.
And Capitao.
Yeah, against Vitality. So either way, that's what they wanted to do then, deciding. So they obviously have a lot of confidence in Capitao.
Oh, what is this Claymore setup? That is beautiful.
It's the shoot a hole in the wall and hope they don't pre-fire that spot. I mean, the downside of doing that, of course, is that's a soft wall, so that means they can just easily shoot that. But that's assuming they see it, right? That's the tricky part.
Well, Shockwave sitting up here. There is the Habana. They can take control of the hatch, and that's exactly what they're going to do. It's the standard checklist. We always talk about that. The smoke is downstairs, though, holding off the stairs, but he has fallen back. He'll play in the back of Laundry. Shockwave is going to get disrupted here. The Mute Jammer's definitely being a thorn in the side of Identity. Identity. What is happening?
What is happening?
It's dying.
It's the Russian way of saying Identity, right?
Identity.
Identity.
Right. 99.
Either way, they're getting around a lot of these Mute Jammers in terms of getting their drone game on, and they're starting to get. They have so much map control now. I don't know. We're playing a very turtle-style defense here.
Yeah.
And maybe that's what they need to be doing because they're definitely struggling. They did win the first round on defense in Laundry. Stizzy hanging out upstairs. That could actually really work out in their favor. Lackey with a very nice angle on the joystick, who's just been struggling this whole map. Shepard, though, starting to set things up here to try and get this push underway. Again, without a lot of smoke operators, except for this time they brought Shockwave on this Capital, so smokes are going to come out along with Candelas, because Nami is left alive. But Stizzy taking out Karzeka, not great.
Yeah, Nami is still upstairs. Shepard will go in for the plant. And you know what? That is a beautiful C4. Now, 2 players left alive from Identity. That's Namia and Shockwave. I'm going to call him Numa at this point. Shockwave looking in, but there's not a lot of time, and they'll have to deal with 4 players left alive from IDK with a potential C4 as well to be chucked in if need be. Both drop in. The shotgun will miss, though, from Leon, though Lackey will get one. Do they know where Shockwave is?
Yep.
No, they do not, and he'll get the kill. He has the diffuser in hand. They have to come in and save the round because a loss like this might be deadly for IDK, but Stizzy comes in, gets the last kill on Shockwave, and now it's map point for IDK.
But they wish they were playing ranked. They could have actually stuck that plant time. Unfortunately, it takes
7 seconds, Madrid?
Yeah, it's like half a lifetime just to get that plant down, especially when they know exactly where you're at that point. But that was very close. Unfortunately, that puts them on match point here in terms of, or map point rather. So Identity, in order to continue this comeback, only have to win this next round. And then they go over into overtime. But can they do it? Dorms. It is again coming out here. Now that Laundry is still the only bomb site they've won. So if history repeats itself, which it has been doing quite a bit today, this could go over to a overtime match here as Edenity could take this round. At least again, they wouldn't have to play tower, which, you know, there's that. So we'll see if we get any switches. Nami are going to be on that Blackbeard again because that's what he prefers. Maybe they'll go for a 6-pick over to Ying because that was so much more effective when he just ran on into kids with that. Nope. All right. Well, hopefully the Blackbeard works out for you.
I mean, still then, I remind you a couple of rounds ago when they just basically bum rushed the bedrooms themselves and just got kills off of it.
Yeah.
And that was all up to the Ying. But yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do with this one. Now, Identity bringing the Zofia. Of course, Zofia offers quite a bit on the table, but of course it's not like the Ying. You can't really time your throws correctly and stagger them in a way where it's the 3-2-1, and you can have all 3 pretty much popping at the same time.
Yeah. Well, let's see. Hopefully Nami's Blackbeard could be a little more effective this round. Potentially might have a few more roamers as well because this bomb site lends itself to roamers a little bit better than downstairs does, especially since people tend to get pushed out of meeting hall most of the time. Leon, though, going to try and hang out in here. Still has a nitro cell, not going to go with like a deployable shield, which we've seen not work out super great for some of the teams.
Still not a fan of that Delta site.
Well, you know what? Just let the man do his work. I'm sure he'll be fine. Nami has been a top fragger today.
He has played pretty well for the new guy on the squad, if you will, compared to the players that were around for quite some time. Team previously with Room Factory.
Unfortunately for Identity, they don't get 2 free kills up in tower this time. That certainly helped the last time. But they do get tower control, and that's what matters most, right? His joystick is now up there. They can start pressuring into Attic, as you see Shepard doing now with the angles, so that they can play these B windows. Now, usually you have Blackbeard playing the B windows. He might just stick on the A windows, and they might go with grenades and just try and pressure up here with some of the faster operators. No surprise here to see joystick as well. I imagine this is going to be a joystick shockwave push with the Blackbeard providing some crossfire and then a little bit of roof support from Shepard.
EP even chucking a gas canister outside.
All right, well, that was...
It doesn't spread. This is not like breathing fresh air.
Just gets away from that.
Meepy now down and out by Shockwave, just spraying in. revealing himself, getting a bit greedy with that smoke, I guess.
Well, smoke's not an important operator to have at the end of the round. So.
No, no.
Ooh, joystick with the second one, though. This is starting to fall apart for I don't know. And looking like overtime. Skarzeka gets another one. Ooh. So he was fine on the reflex.
And Namea with one more here on the board. Sizzy last man alive. So run round away from overtime.
Stizzy can do it, right? It's only 5 people left. Joystick's a little hurt. He can make this happen. He's going to trap himself, though, in the one spot that he can't easily get out of, potentially, if he gets caught.
Attackers are activating the bomb diffuser.
Unfortunately, he's going to rotate back, though, at least. He does have the... Nope. Man. Scratch that. He dead.
Like how you're trying to hype it up a 1v5 and he's in the kitchen.
Yeah, it's just like...
If he can do it, this'll be the greatest ace of all time.
Yeah, right? At that point, he should just go to hang out in ruins. Think about his options. Either way, though, a very nice comeback here. We've seen... Again, though, this is like Border all over again, where we're seeing, you know, one side dominating in terms of the size, where we saw 3 attacks successful and 2 defenses in the first half. Exact same thing in the second half, which is why we're ending with a 5-5 situation, which is, again, going to overtime. I honestly could not have asked for a better matchup in terms of 2 evenly matched teams, though. And this is why I know a lot of people don't like best of ones necessarily, because it can't have this back and forth. When this is why we try and get the best of 5s when it's appropriate to do so, because you can see situations like this. Obviously, it is a long set of matches when you do so, but this is also why we don't do infinite OT. I mean, let's be real. This would go for a lifetime. Leon actually going to bring up that visual, something I don't think we've seen really. I think one time maybe, because most of the rest of the time they've 6-pick off it. This time he 6-picked onto it. Can Leon be the hero that they need? That Dark Knight as he goes around the map, because he is not top fragging this time. He is just barely above Meepy.
Oh boy. You know, every time.
References.
Yeah, you always mention that when we talk about the vigil.
Until they get that crossover skin.
Yes.
Then I'll stop.
Yes, that's the only time they'll actually be supporting DC Universe, but in general.
The Disconnect Universe?
No, that's Latin America.
We host for Batman.
That's Latin America.
All right, well, either way, they get to play down in Laundry, so I don't know getting stuck on the defense. Now, defense has been a losing proposition, so this time, in fairness to what happened on Coastline, they get to start in the off.
Laundry, honestly, if they can defend Laundry, I can see them taking the attack.
So
yeah. So there you go. Talking off of statistics, yes, this is much easier for IDK, but if they can take this and then the attack that has been okay for them as well, then, you know what, doable. This can end. However, if you lose round number 2 of overtime, this starts to favor Edenity.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we saw it favor I don't know in terms of what happened last map, but hey, it worked out.
IDK the way, my dude.
The way is in circles the way we're going so far in terms
6-12 for Namea.
Is Namea just going to snipe across the map with his pistol? He's 6-12. I just need the Q929 or whatever that was.
Yeah. Got a Suzy Q.
Is that the nickname?
Nah, it's QZS92.
There you go.
There you go. Here we go. Shot coming in from Leon.
Ooh,
and he'll get taken down by the 6-12 of all things, but he's already on the floor, so it's just a bit of a finisher.
Got T-shirt cannon.
But at least he shuts down the Ash. That has been a thorn in their side.
But again, that is Joystick and Leon's on. Not that they've either of them been top fraggers this map, which has been an interesting reversal, I would say. It's been everyone else's turn. They're like, you guys got 2 maps, let us have some fun.
Activating drone.
Either way, though, I think that comes down to roam play to an extent being so different on this map as well. So I feel like Clubhouse will be really interesting to see who can really roam correctly on that between those guys. So, not me again with the pistol out. Minute 23 left, though. 1 member of each team dead. Not the most critical operator, though. Yeah, I mean, Ash provides a lot of killing power, but not a lot of utility that's going to be important in terms of the push. The hatch is going to start to get opened. The Vigil, the other one, dead. Not, again, vital. They are going to be forced to turtle a bit on site here, and it's going to come down to whether or not the push is a very strong push. They have Shockwave for the smoke. However, Alems going for the flank here in the meeting hall is potentially going to be the wild card that I don't know needs.
You can hear the Zofia lifelines being rattled off in the back. Alems, of course, in the back of the stage.
Attackers
playing
are located
from the tower
Nice
stairs.
camera. Definitely going to help him out. no one watching this. Hopefully they're watching the actual door as they're focused on this push. Oh, he could get that free kill into Namiya.
Shockwave going for the drone as Lems moves on in, and there we go. He flicks, but no! Karjeka wins the fight, and now turns it into a 3v4.
No!
The 612 does not connect as Meepy will still go down. Fire damage being done as Karjeka is still low on health. The diffuser is in the hands of the Zofia that goes down, but turns it into a 2v1. All up to Lackey as he'll get the last two, and the defense will grab the first round of overtime. IDK, they'll have their first one, and now they go to the attack where they have been favored as well. We'll see. Maybe Edenity play on the other side.
Well, the other side is definitely going to be a tough spot to be in. But either way, this has been a cracker. I'm really not sure where this is going to go. I mean, we're going to go to 4 maps no matter what, right? This really looking like 5, the way things are going so far. Clubhouse, however, as you mentioned before, is very I don't know favored.
Yeah.
So if I don't know can close out this map with a victory, which is looking more possible, probably only going to go to 4 maps, because then we're looking at a 3-1 situation where I don't know go away with the win, and Edenity go away with a heck of an attempt, and is still a shot at Paris Major due to DreamHack.
Yep.
So still could happen, but it's so close to call between these guys, because we've seen these overtime situations 2 maps in a row now. We're in it again. And
3 overtimes and 3 maps. It is exhausting for the players, just as it is for us as well. But analyzing the plays and seeing really where the round gets broken, that's definitely a complicated one.
It's really coming down to small mistakes. Or it's either small mistakes or it's misfires. Like we saw, for example, when we saw him coming around Lems as the Jaeger in Meeting Hall, just barely losing that fight. So it's small situations like that that are turning things around. Because you see the scrap at the end of the round there, how close they're getting to. Lackey just barely winning that due to Shockwave dropping, unfortunately, right into Lackey's shots. It's just timing, it's small mistakes, it's gunfights that are just barely not being won. But it's also interesting, like I said before, to have the 2 top fraggers of like Leon and Joystick suddenly reversing that and being towards the very bottom. Not the very bottom necessarily, but like second to last.
They've kind of been trading off one another, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's been interesting, but it's given other people a chance to shine. We've seen Lems especially shining this map and the last map. We've seen some of the other players coming up. We still haven't seen Stizzy or Namiya do a ton. They've been showing up to an extent, but I feel like also, you know, we saw Lems lose that fight. It was a reverse situation where I feel like Namiya should have won his fight with the shotgun on the smoke inside the closet. That should have been an easy win. Fortunately, just the timing there. I imagine he was pre-firing it, and he was like, they're going to push me. I'm just going to pre-fire it, and that's why he won that fight. But it's coming down to such close, small things. And I think both these teams are doing a good job reading each other, but they're also not doing the greatest job countering each other like we were talking about with the Lems when it came to pushing the kitchen. Small situations like that where they could be getting an edge, they're not completely taking advantage of. And I think, I imagine they're probably getting a little tired at this point as well, maybe not being as sharp as they were previously, or just not getting the breaks to really think about these. I mean, yeah, they had a short break before this map, and they're going to have a short break now. But it's a case where it's you have to really think through those things. And I'm not sure if Edenity have a coach, but as we discussed, I don't know. Don't have one, so they don't have one to be able to provide that objective perspective to help with that. And that could be working out in Edenity's favor.
So, speaking of the break that you were just mentioning, as we rehost everything, we have to re-input all the settings on the Spectre side. We're going to take a quick 2-minute break, and then we'll be back for the final round of this this 3rd map and overtime. Who knows? IDK versus opponents of Edenity continues in just 2 minutes.
Stylish on the outside, savage on the inside. Legion by Lenovo.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. And after all is done, we do get the rehost ready to go. So we hop into overtime round number 2.
Well, hopefully the last overtime round for this is, it definitely has gone all 3 rounds the previous times.
Yeah, we'll head right into the game as it is 6-5, the way of IDK. They're 1 round away. And they're playing on the attack, which has favored them in the past on this map, Oregon. Now, all 3 of our maps have gone to overtime. This must be exhausting for all the players.
Yep.
But there you go.
There you go. Leon gonna be on that Thatcher again. Okay, so this is what we were talking about before. This is the opportunity for Edenity to go. Leon's like, ooh, he's gonna 6-pick off that Thatcher. He wants to throw the Candelas this time. Interesting. But this is what we were talking about before, is Alem's, I imagine, going to do the same thing again. Joystick needs to either not take that fight or win that fight. There are opportunities for them to open up holes in the floor and fight it from above. They don't have to one-on-one fight him in that kitchen. Now, I imagine he probably would drone that, and there might be opportunities for him to spot that. But nonetheless, they have some opportunity to be able to counter him, or if they could, say, play successfully from the bathroom. There are different ways they can make this work if they can take advantage of what they do know against I don't know.
See how Edenity play this one, because I fear for IDK that because of how efficient Edenity's attack has been, because of the fact that they won't be able to play laundry,
5 seconds left.
if IDK do not win this round, it might just go the way of Edenity. Now, players are on white stairs or setting up. You see Nemia and, of course, Shockwave, who's I don't know, planning on a quick push, maybe? No, they'll fall back. They'll get spotted by Stizzy. So, nothing out of the ordinary.
Yeah.
But yeah, actually, how did Katika take the damage?
I imagine that was either like a shotgun or a impact nade or something that just, unfortunately, ill-timed. Either that or, you just stubbed his toe.
Same setup that we always see, though, from IDK. It's kind of repetitive, but still. We've seen them in the past playing the Buck in this position. The Zofia does the work pretty well as well.
Yeah, I feel like we used to see Leon push this over and over.
Yeah,
the
Buck.
exact same with Buck. Yeah, you're right. They've just basically swapped how it's being played, but it's the same idea. To be fair, it's worked every time. So I guess, yeah, like you said, if it ain't broke,
don't fix it.
Well, we'll see though. Now, Nami has not been successful in playing that Z hallway. Most of the time. He either gets pushed off or gets taken out. Joystick as well has not been successful in playing the way he's trying to defend kitchen. So this is where it needs to change. If it can, like you said, I feel like Edenity could take it.
Well, Nemea will get pushed away with the use of 1 Candela. And Lackey is holding the hallway just in case. He hears the fire being rattled off, and it'll find a headshot on Joystick.
Oh, no.
Huge kill here. We've seen how important Joystick has been as a player for Team Edenity. Now with the call coming in, they should be able to spot running back, but runs into the meeting hall uncontested. There's nobody in the garage here. The IQ had already fallen back.
Well, they're going to continue to drone him. They don't even have to fight him at this point. Continuing to drone him like this is just going to force him off site. He's already pushed back in meeting hall. He's going to try and stick it as long as he can, but at the same time, he can't really win those fights very successfully because Nami has just not been a top fragger at all. So it's going to come down to him just getting pushed off and getting pushed off. But he has C4. That's a valuable resource. He should be bringing back the site with the way they can go for smoke plants here. It is, especially with the Candelas coming out as well. Stizzy, though, with a nice kill on the Shockwave. That is, unfortunately, the Legion down early and phone calls coming out.
You look at this position in the round here, you realize IDK with 35 seconds on the clock, they've got some time to play around with. They lose this round. I honestly don't see how they can come back from such a huge loss, but that is still a possibility. Yes, Alem's is set up on the outside. He still has Candelas to play around with. Well, actually, no, none. Meepy's already come in. He finishes off 2. This One kill will go the way of Nemea. Still has a Nitro Cell, but they know exactly where he's at, and that's the danger of playing in the attic. 9 seconds left on the clock, and I don't agree with Lackey moving up here. Just keep spraying and play for time. Don't ruin it for yourself, as Nemea will fake drop into the meeting hall. He'll go back up, but the call will reveal his position. Doesn't really matter what he does, because all of these eyes will get trained on him. There is a camera that has been set up against him. LMs will spray in, and that's Nemea, though. Will win out in the fight. 10 more seconds left on the clock before this turns into an almost impossibility with a shotgun one-tap from Nemea. He'll try to go in, but the grenade perfectly timed in position from Lackey, and IDK will take map number 3. This is a 2-1 now. All maps have gone into overtime. 7-5 win for map 1 for IDK. A 7-6 victory for Edenity on map 2. Correct me if I'm wrong. And then map 3, 7-5 as well for IDK the way.
Well, that just shows that it is very IDK favored, because both the times they won, it was by a gap of 2, and the time Edenity won, it was by a gap of 1. So IDK definitely showing to be the stronger team, but that was what you would have expected on paper. The fact that it's even this close,
yeah, is actually insane.
The fact that
especially
that last
on Oregon
round was that close, right? The fact that Nami almost clutched that.
It's a tough game. It's a tough game. For fans of both teams, it really is not an easy thing to call. For even for us here that are sitting and watching their plays unfold, it seems like every single time we see IDK on the attack, they kind of fall into the same routine of attack. And even though that was never capitalized upon completely, it still gave way for the defenders to just set up correctly. Edenity didn't really have to worry too much about early on in the setup. However, by the end, IDK had gotten into the groove of that move, and finally they pick up their second map in overtime. So a 2-1. Still have to go for map number 4, Devin.
Yeah, this, like I said, is very, I don't know, favored. We have seen Identity playing it once in the qualifiers, and it was, again, 7-6 against Ents. So it was not a great map for them.
Yeah.
Whereas it has definitely been a good map for, I don't know, let's see, they've gone 6-2, 6-1, and did lose it against Orglis, but I mean, that was after 2 wins.
Yeah.
So it has definitely been a good map for them. It is one that has not seen a ton of play in the Pro League yet, but obviously they've got the experience on it, they've got the practice on it. And some of it may come down to the operator bans in terms of if there could be something that debalances it in Identity's favor. They're going to have to be very strategic. This is the situation, okay, so they are in the same situation, potentially, that they were on Coastline in terms of having the ban advantage. Because they start on attack, they get to do that second ban. They get to be in a situation where they can force, I don't know, to be the one to ban Mira, which means they get potentially a free ban. So if they can capitalize on that and ban someone strategically.
However, my counterpoint to that is that Clubhouse, Mira, you don't really need her except for church, and it's not really a need. But good to have, but
they still banned it twice, though.
Yeah, but on this map, I can see why teams are just not ban Mira. Why would you waste your ban on it? Sure, I see how she can be used on church, but on other maps, she's not that great. Maybe on Cash, but Cash is already very difficult to take as the attackers nowadays, unless you're Orglis and somehow are able to make things happen with pure fragging skills on aces.
Well, then that's my point. Then even more advantage to Identity, because they can let them waste that ban on something that's not even very effective. Because when Identity played this, they banned Glaz, which is what everyone seems to be banning, and Legion rather than Mira. So it's a case where if Legion's an operator they find is a big weakness, they can take advantage of that here. And if, for some reason, I don't know, don't ban Mira, like you said, not a big deal. Either way, Identity have an advantage in this because of the operator ban situations. But you want to use that strategically against something that I don't know need. Now, unfortunately, as we mentioned earlier, not a lot of those matches were casted. So whether or not they have that intel, I'll be honest, I had to go through some MOS files to be able to see how some of these went down because not all of them were casted. And it's a tricky situation, and we don't know what level of research they do. Again, we don't know if they have a coach. So there is definitely a lot of big question marks in terms of what they do or don't know. And obviously, we spend time trying to figure that stuff out and be able to determine what could give them an advantage, whether they can capitalize on that or not. Obviously, we didn't see them capitalizing on some intelligence advantage on Oregon. We don't know whether they'll do it here. But either way, I still think even without exploiting advantages that they have. They've still been playing a very, very strong game, whether, you know, just coming down to those plays themselves. So, like I said, this is an opportunity for Edenity on a map that they don't have an advantage on to turn that around, but it's a small one.
And even then, it would go to a map 5. And
yeah, and then you're stuck on Bank, which, you know, that's a tricky one. Because Bank hasn't been played a ton. I mean, it had been played a bit more before.
For Europe.
Yeah, for Europe. So it is one that used to be, you know, big. And that's the thing is, like, I feel like everything changes every season because there's something introduced, something that's done that just makes every season so different. You can't even rely on the stats. You'd be like, oh, Bank was a map you played all the time last season. Doesn't matter anymore. Operator bans change everything. And, I mean, that's obviously the idea. They put the meta in the hands of the players, and it's absolutely working in that sense. I mean, you're going to see a Glass ban. That's pretty much the only thing
I can see a Glass Lion.
Because
they banned Lion 3 times so far.
Lion is a very strong second opportunity. The one exception was when, I don't know, played against Slavgent. Glazimir were banned by Slavgent. So they didn't...
Slavic gentleman.
Yeah. So they didn't have to do those bans. They did Habana Vigil. So that just shows that if they're stuck in a situation where they don't have to ban those, they'll go with those two. But the thing is, since I don't know, we're going to have first ban, they're going to ban Glaz, as you'll see here. And then Edenity don't have to waste that ban on Glaz themselves either. So
this is a quick
they
pick.
could go with Lion.
That's IDK's pick first, and it'll be Glass. Yeah, there you go. Who would have thought?
I mean, I could end up being wrong, but it's just like, well...
Lion, it makes sense. Identity will go for Lion. That's
Probably.
what they've been doing consistently.
Yeah, I mean, last time the reason they didn't ban Lion is because they banned Glaz and Ents banned Lion.
And Club has a pretty strong map for Lion as well if you're willing to roam on it. And there you go.
Yep.
Bam.
Well, all right.
Should hire us for this.
Right? We should get paid to talk about this game. Either way, though, this is where the question marks happen. This is where Edenity are either going to use it or lose it. So this is, if they don't use this ban wisely.
Echo. I see an Echo or a Maestro ban. If they don't, the thing is, if they ban Maestro, they really gimp themselves.
Right? Yeah, I would not ban Maestro in this situation. That's definitely on I don't know.
Echo would be possible, or the Jaeger.
Yeah.
Ban it.
All right.
Oh.
Interesting.
Oh, this makes attacks into the bedroom much easier because then the balcony wall.
Yeah, they're gonna have to depend on mute.
Yes, and that's a lot easier to do. Well, actually.
There we go.
Is it?
Well, we'll see. We'll see how they play it, right? Because it depends on how...
We've been seeing a lot of shield in that hallway of death.
Yeah, that's true. And it's not always work. We did see one very nice strategy with Castle, which, I mean, I wouldn't say that was some
the double castle
strategy, but...
Well, it kind of is.
With a bulletproof camera, right? Either way, though, they might go with something similar. They are going to start in Cash Room, though, for I Don't Know, which is a good bomb site. It is one that is disputably the new primary, depending on who you ask. But it is an interesting one nonetheless. Nami are going to be playing on Thatcher, something we didn't see. We don't really see a lot of Thatcher from Edenity, so it's definitely a map-specific thing. It's just interesting that they would go with it after they banned Bandit. They're definitely expecting a mute, and there's no mute being picked here. And Elmsy is even going to 6th pick over to Maestro, so you could 6th pick that Thatcher now to something else if you're just not needing it for gadgets. I mean, it still will stun Maestro's thing, and disable Pulse, I guess. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I really agree with the one time you finally bring Thatcher. It's not really when you need it so much.
Need to locate and
so we'll see, though. Cash Room, again, these walls...
Strong side.
These walls are, the ones Lackey are reinforcing right now, are probably the most important walls in this, because those are the ones that start to open up the site, and that's where things like having the Evil Eye off to the side, things like that can really factor in terms of playing that. But also, if Lackey's able to hang out inside the stockroom downstairs, he could be a big problem for them on that plant if they go for that. Because they do have some utility for a smoke plant. Interesting they go with the double hard breacher, though. So again, they're bringing maybe a bit more utility than is necessary with the Thatcher and 2 hard breachers for the bomb site they're facing. But that'll give them some options if one of them dies. And we'll see how it plays out in terms of whether or not that works out favorably to them.
Here's how I see this, though. Try to take control of the garage. Using the Ash.
Or even the Habana if you want to open up an angle in the wall first.
And then you can have the Thermite that's going to be playing on the balcony up here. And then you'll have the Thatcher, nearby, obviously, to try and take down... well, there is actually no mute, and obviously not the banned because he is banned. But Shockwave on the Dokkaebi, the way I see it is that they need to allow him to get in. There's 2 ways to go through with that. Either you're able to use the balcony to get into the bedroom, or okay, so they're going to use one of their Texan Dynamites or Thermite Charges to open up the garage, and then they'll probably use the second one upstairs.
I would imagine so, but it looks like Habana's the one to rotate up. It's definitely difficult. I mean, they have double hard breachers. They could play either way. I would have expected opening up an angle onto the garage first from Habana rather than try to open up a whole walkable wall, because you don't necessarily want to walk through that. But the advantage of walking through that door is you don't have to deal with this guy right here, Stizzy up in this corner. This corner is death. So many coming through that door, which they almost die to right there. And that's why you want to open up that garage wall.
There you go. Leon stabbing the wall there to staple the reinforcement in.
Got to do what you got to do. But the wall's starting to come open on the balcony already. Thermite doing his job, so they are making good progress here. Minute 30 left, and no one's died yet. No real major utility lost from the attackers, but they have yet to find any defenders that they can get a kill on. So if Stizzy can stay alive, this could be a bit more of a problem.
They'll try to spray from below, though, onto Stizzy.
Yep.
And they'll still get the kill on a Shockwave. He's looking for the second one. The Habana's teasing, but he's still alive. They'll go for the reload. Lackey coming around as well from the stairs here. Stizzy just really toying with the Habana, finding the angle himself. And will he? Yes, he will. There we go. Easy shot. Katajeka maybe a bit too eager there to get the kill.
Yeah, that was a little embarrassing. I mean, maybe towards the end of the round, if you're trying to distract him while you push for the plant, sure. But what was the point of that, really? What did you accomplish by dancing around till you died?
Well, there we go, the Maestro, even from a Lems, firing in. Meepy with one more and Lems with a second. You can't really use that bipod that the Setni has. But let's just say about hiding behind a pile of Euros, yeah, works out pretty well. Protects you.
Yeah.
Knowing myself, obviously.
That's what you do, right? Hide behind money, like many rich people do.
Huh, of course.
Huh. Well, that was not a good round for Edenity. Not at all. However, we will now see them forced to switch bomb sites, and surprisingly, secondary going to be bedroom. Teams not wanting to play Arsenal next. Now, we've talked about this a bit in terms of Arsenal still being fairly decent and probably should be a secondary for a lot of teams. But if you do have a very solid defense up in gym, doable. However, it's still tough because of all the crossfires, especially when they're coming with double hard breachers and a Thatcher like this. Assuming they don't completely misplay and give Stizzy 2 free kills, they have some ability to set up a lot of crossfires here and do some serious work, like you mentioned as well. No Bandit to be able to do anything to stop a push on that. Not that it's that easy to stop the hot tub wall from getting open, for example, because let's say you put batteries down there, right? Well, they just open up the gym bedroom window, and then you just start firing down gym, and, well, what are you going to do with that? Yeah, you could throw a deployable shield there, but easily taken out by many different operators.
Attackers need to locate.
So, I mean, not any of the bringing, to be fair. We'll see how they defend this, though. That was a surprisingly bad attack in terms of, well, first off, just throwing away the lives to Stizzy, which were unnecessary. With the first one, maybe if you thought you had a good peek on him, okay. The second one from Karjeka, that was just very faulty in giving them a free round there. Stizzy, though, at least, hey, that's helped pad in his stats. He needed a few extra.
Well, now we see a bedroom defense. Now, a lot of people might not have seen much of New Clubhouse.
Yeah.
Nowadays, but still, it's a great map. I think it's a billion times better than what it was before, and that's no exaggeration.
It's unfortunate because, like, in year one, the big problem I had was we played nothing but Clubhouse, and then thankfully that died down a little bit. Now that Clubhouse is good again, it's like, well, more Clubhouse. Not that I don't I love the new map. It's just funny that we just cannot escape Clubhouse.
I just think it's funny that.
You just think it's hilarious that I think it's funny that. Either way, we are at least 30 seconds or so into the round, and they are going to start working on this hot tub wall first, which is, I think, arguably the best thing to start with, especially if they can't do anything about it. But there is some way to stop it with the old impact trick, and this is where you want to use Habana instead of Thermite if you want to do something lower and stop them from doing that. Maybe, I don't know, try and shoot
them through their gym. Oh boy. Shepard's like, what is this?
Hey!
What have you done?
What happened? What was that magic ball you threw? Come on, you guys got to know about this by now. And that is the thing. See that metal railing right there? That stops people from shooting through it, but you can impact it. There is something similar on the garage doors as well. We've seen some teams occasionally do that. But maybe he gets a nice kill out of it, and there goes Joystick, unfortunately. So, not that his utility was necessary, but his gun was very helpful when he used it correctly. Now these castle barricades are going to be a bit more of a problem because now they're going to have to potentially use Habana's X-Kairos to open up or punch them because they don't have Sophia to back up the lack of the Ash. So, again, an attack that is really going south fast for Edenity. Unfortunate.
Well, the Habana is going to start opening things up here. It'll all get shot by Mipi, and the castle barricade will be saved. Cross angles, that's why you see the gym being opened up at the midsection.
Oh no.
And Shepard going in for the second Texan Dynamite. Well, you know what? Stizzy has got just the thing for that. You're not getting in there anytime soon.
It's these moments where I just wonder what's going through their minds. And if there is anything going through them. It's just
what you would assume at this point is, oh, what a shot! Leon Gid isn't so great. Are you kidding me?
Shockwave again struggling in the early round here. We thought this was a I don't know this map before, but it certainly looks like it now. At least Karzeka able to get Lackey. That's a good initial kill. Unfortunately, it's just the castle. There are still quite a few good operators left on defense that could be a problem for them. Stizzy actually at least doing them a favor and opening up that door for them.
And he has to chuck in his goo mines just to be sure. Because of you know, them having lost one man, they kind of don't want to rely on the smoke to have the angle. And there you go. That's why, because they're expecting the push to come in from the other side. Leon Gids has come back into the site as he sprays into Shepard. 4v2 now. Advantage definitely in the hand of IDK. They'll finish up one, and Mipi, all he knows is left is Kajeka, and Kajeka will have to run into explosives and grenades and smoke and everything under the sun. Alems to spray through the wall and get the last headshot on Kajeka, eliminating him.
Almost a second flawless round there. They only lost one defender. Well, I would hope that Edenity would not be repeating that mistake if we see Gym Bedroom again, which there's a good chance we will, especially if they continue to win defenses like this. But
I'll go to church.
Yeah, let's go to church and pray that they can win one round here.
It is Sunday.
That's true. That's true. This is a good time to be playing there. However, this is their third bomb site. This is, in theory, Identity's best opportunity to do something here, and well, they're not going to have to go to bar. You don't have to go to 4 bomb sites the way the rotations work, so I don't think they're going to volunteer. Nami back on the blitz. We didn't see a lot of effect on that when he used it on border. We did see I mean, he got 1 kill out of it. That was decent. He did manage to back up a teammate and get a trade, but still not something where I'd be like, well, he's on blitz now. This is over, you know?
Yeah.
So he's no Julio Mav.
No Leon Gids.
No Leon Gids, no, unfortunately. Leon instead going to be on that vigil again. So we'll see. I would imagine that would mean he would roam, but we have seen occasionally even like people like Skies just going back to site and hanging out with that vigil. So definitely doesn't mean he has to roam, but it definitely is more effective then. This is where they really could have brought IQ. I mean, come on, when you have a vigil and a pulse, you saw that in the reveal. Probably could have switched up, but nonetheless, they're going to stick with what they want to stick with and probably not get any extra benefit out of that, which, if you think about it, like if you're trying to roam clear, what better way to do it than to go, hey, Vigil's upstairs, I can see him on my scanner, hanging out in the bedroom. Not gonna happen. So we'll see though. Identity definitely seem to be making a lot of misplays on this map so far. I hope this is the round we see a comeback from them, but it's not looking great.
IDK are setting up. Leon is playing upstairs in the office. We've been hopeful seeing a lot of office roam because now you have 2 stairs to rotate back to the, well, 3 ways to rotate back down, 2 of them being stairs, of course. The blue stairs, new addition. If you have not played Clubhouse, please make sure you do.
You sure need to.
Of course, the main stairs and the oil pit. So you got a few ways of getting it done, and because now there's 2 players upstairs, having Leon on the Vigil and Alems on the Jaeger. You got Alems that can protect his teammate, and of course, the Vigil that'll be mostly working to take down any Habana charges that are set up in the kitchen. But Alems will have to fall back for just a second here as they are being contested pretty heavily by Identity.
Yeah, it's definitely something that could lead to a kill here, but definitely doesn't seem to be going that way so far. The fact that Alems has been able to just hang out by this mattress for so long, and Leon able to kill Joystick there, this is way too much roam going off here. Now Alems gets a kill into Shockwave. That is 2 important players down, and now it's down to a shield and 2 hard breachers to try and make this happen. Not looking good.
Maya will get one though on Leon to clean him up, but damage already been done here, Devin, and that's a diffuser on the floor. Alems did spot him. And unfortunately for Edenity, the Lems will have to, well, will be able to run on down. That's why you saw him pulling out the pistol to run just a tiny bit faster into Strip Club. And Edenity with Nemea on 50% health of the Blitz. He can definitely fight this, but the Diffuser is upstairs. And if Lems can time this correctly, he can go for the run out and get a kill off of it.
I do fear this is going to be a short map here. Fortunately, Lems doesn't get the kill, but he has so little health left. Stizzy, in the meantime, says that's fine.
Oh boy.
Good luck, Blitz.
That's a Jinkies. That's a Zoink Slay right there. That's a Rut-Row.
He's working against his name here because a Blitz this is not with 50 seconds left and him having to fight 4 and a Legion still on the board with 50% health. I mean, I'm one to hate writing off rounds, but this over.
Let's go.
All right, well, to no one's surprise, another round for I don't know. At least they can go back to cash, and I would hope some of the mistakes of the previous rounds would be corrected. They would not try and push that corner again where Stizzy was hanging out last time. Something we've seen is become very much a linchpin of that meta in terms of cash defense, because the corner is just so hard to deal with. Because of the way the stairs obviously kind of... Oh, I thought Nami was actually going to play. Is he actually going to 6th pick them on?
Oh boy.
Because you were so good on that.
What is this? Chaos playing?
All right. Well, Chaos definitely describes the way Identity been playing these attacks. Unfortunately, we will see them trying somewhat of a similar lineup to they had before. Again, the double hard breachers, they had a good start to it previously, but again, they threw away too many lives trying to fight Garage. We're not able to turn that into anything significant. There's the Maestro coming out. No 6th picks, it looks like, coming out from Identity, so they're not going to bring out that Montaigne after all, despite the tease. Maybe they were going to tease it and then 6th pick away from it. But these 6 picks to Maestro, I don't think should come as a surprise, since they did it first time on cash as well.
Protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
All right. Well, now we go back to the cash room as IDK are pretty happy with their play so far. They're bringing a very similar lineup to what they had before. Stizzy, though, on the Garage, have to commend him. He's been extremely powerful, just holding up on the top of the Garage stairs, and that is an interesting. That is a pretty sweet Maestro to have, because it's very difficult to Evil Eye to take out. It will help the Legion that's playing as well in the Garage.
Absolutely, and
10 seconds
it's a case where he's just so hard to get rid of. Oh, interesting to see he's not bringing the Bailiff. Bring the Caratos.
5 seconds left.
Still not something. I mean, unless you're just a big Magnum lover, I don't see the point.
Attackers recovered the bomb diffuser.
Either way, you know, preference is preference. Play with what you like. As long as it works, Stizzy going to be working his way back up there. He does set a Legion Mine, I imagine, right on that doorway to slow them when they try and actually push in, giving himself an extra opportunity to get that kill. They're going to have to find a way to do a much better attack on him if they want to deal with him. Although they could go for a push instead from Bedroom and say forget Garage, but that just doesn't work so great. You kind of need some Garage control to really be able to stick it. So I just hope they learned from the previous rounds, but so far it's definitely looking like this could go to even a 6-0.
Karajik up with the Habana. Of course, he's got Shockwave as well. Identity trying to set up for an aggressive play with the Candelas. I'm going to spray right in just to be sure there's nobody peeking through them.
Or no Evil Eye like we saw EG play. Yep. It's a nice one to be able to even deny any kind of, like, you know, the Thermite they were playing, for example, to open up the Garage wall. So I like the idea behind it. A little bit of crooked X-Kairos there, but they're going to use all of them on the wall there. And that's going to save Thermite from having to do that, but what is Thermite going to do then? I guess Garage wall. Nice timing there, Stizzy. Hopefully they didn't see that.
A bomb has been located.
They're going to try to find it. He is actually a little distracted at the moment, so this is a little more possible for Joystick to take him out. And if anyone's going to do it, I imagine Joystick could. They are pinging him. Oh, the timing is everything here, though. And that well-placed early goo mine saving his life, potentially. Yeah,
an extra goo mine being thrown right over. Will open up. I think it has been spotted and taken out. Lackey is giving information as well, playing from the oil pit. So definitely something... Definitely not a position you want to be in, at least not a repeat of what we saw in the couple rounds before. Stizzy taking a lot of damage though as he was going for the reload out in the open. Lackey's trying to help, but Stizzy is already on the job. Not like a carve on it, mate. Here, Karazeka will have to come on in as Shockwave gets one, but they spot Habana inside here. As picked in, and will have to pull back. Shockwave somehow has penetrated into the site. He'll get spotted And Alems can use the Maestro. They'll at that tight angle. That'll try to play in a 4 versus 4. He got just to take down the phone call, but now he's playing a close angle. And Edenity completely changed the way that they attack. Instead of, well, they forego the balcony and just go the way of the push directly through the window. A shockwave that'll go down to Alems. Nobody really going through the stairs. The Habana will peek and Karjeka will win Namia as well. And turn it into a 2 versus 3 to the favor of our Russian team. Throw in an extra gas grenade. The C4 will get thrown, but a bit too high. Mipi getting 1 down. He'll spray right in here. Lackey, but Nemea will win out the fight. Mipi have to go for the reload. 5 seconds left on the clock. All he's had to do is defend. Diffuser in the back here. He'll get the win against Nemea, but the diffuser will get set. All up to Shepard and Mipi. And the call will finally get closed off. There's a lot of time for IDK to play in this round. A couple angles to be played by the Thermite. Shepard is ready. He did not spot the head on the side, and Mipi will clutch the round to put the 4-0 on the board for IDK. They are 2 rounds away from victory. And this is definitely a zoinks kind of moment for Identity.
Yeah, not great. Not great at all. That was the closest they've gotten yet to winning a round, though. The fact, I mean, it all came down to they finally killed Stizzy. He was the problem. They finally took out the problem. I mean, it cost them joystick to do so, but it ultimately gave them the possibility to get the plant down. Unfortunately, not being able to get Mipi when it came around while they were trying to defend the fuse getting planted, I feel like obviously if they'd got him there, that would have been the round over, but that was definitely a close call. So there is a chance they could potentially win a final round here. Jim, the way they attacked it last time was obviously a big goof in terms of dealing with the impact nades. I would hope that they're not so exhausted that they can't adjust for that this time. What you need to do, potentially in situations like that, especially since there's no bandit and they're not playing a mute, is just open up part of it with an X-Cairo so you have an angle onto anyone playing in the hallway so they cannot throw those impact nades. Potentially, if you could, assuming you can control the window and a hole from a Habana to be able to fire down the hallway. In a situation like that, they cannot impact nade it. That's all you need to do, and it costs you 1 of your 3 X-Kairos. You still have Thermite breaches to be able to open up 2 walkable walls. You're in a good position at that point. So let's hope that they do that, if they have figured that out. Either way, though, I like the adjustments in terms of enabling some of those impact nade setups.
Look at the difference, though. We've been talking about joysticks so much, and Shepard as well for their plays, and it seems like they can't really put that on the board. Now,
First 2 maps.
It's very possible that IDK have, quote-unquote, won the ban phase and it's working all out for them on the defense. And maybe Identity will do the same thing to IDK and take it in overtime once they get back.
It's certainly possible, but I wouldn't say probable, given that it doesn't seem like this is their map in terms of experience as well as in terms of the way they're playing it so far. As I mentioned earlier, the one time they did play this was against Ents, which arguably are not that strong of a team at the moment, and they still took it all the way to 7-6. So it is possible that they are much better on defense on this than they are on offense, but it just seems like they're being caught off guard by a lot of small things that I don't know are doing better. That seems like things that would be in the meta already in terms of if you've played on this map a lot, that you should probably already know. Which makes me think that they don't, that they just lack experience on this map that I don't know clearly have, and have shown by playing it 3 times during the season, so it is one they were more than prepared to play. They are trying to push into the garage wall. It's hopefully a little bit safer this time, but Leon's going to be sneaky over here in CCTV. They at least brought the sledge this time as well to be able to deal with some of those castle barricades if they lose joystick, which they did last time.
Yeah, they have that, and they have the bonus of having extra grenades. You can use joystick stun grenades to burn off some of the Jaeger ADSs, but Leon surviving here. Luckily enough, they'll open a second angle as the C4 will get thrown in just to cover his escape. Leon will drop down into the stage. Joystick realizes what's happening. He's going to get baited into a limbs. First kill will go the way of IDK. That was a mind game. That was all a pure jabait from IDK.
Yep, and it absolutely worked. And again, joystick off the board early. Such a strong 2 maps. How do you go from being this god of getting, 34, 38 kills in their first 2 maps to just donuts after that? It's not great. Either way, though, Mipi getting at least some kills this round as well, something he'd not been doing a ton of kills previously. Shockwave, unfortunately, must have hit the Tiki on accident. Indeed, for Shockwave. He's still alive, though. Just going to get some sledge action on, hopefully. That's some extra grenades, though, that they have that they definitely need. The way they're having to play this to try and get people out of positions. They are at least taking control of the office, which is a pivot point towards construction to provide some crossfire.
Lackey just waiting until the peek comes in. No, Alems stands right in his way as Lackey will have to spray in. I would have left it up to Lackey to fight first and then the Jaeger.
A little bit of greed.
Yeah, unfortunate there.
Still, though, there's only one player lost, and I don't know. And Nami is very low on health, so there's a good chance they're going to lose a second player on Identity fairly quickly here. Interesting, though, that Shockwave had been the one to be playing the Dokkaebi before, so he switched over to Sledge to take it in Shepard. There we go, the Thermite getting the kill on a Meepy. That's a good kill, because Meepy's actually been top fragging.
Oh, though, the push from Leon, though, he gets one. Does he spot the one on the exit? I think he spotted the end of the rifle there. He'll get a bit of an extra spray down onto the Thermite. Karajeka, though, get one to make it a 3v2. Sizit holding the bedroom hallway, the hallway of death, as you mentioned. Lackey through the flash, he'll get one, he'll get two! Lackey, are you kidding me? There's still one alive. That's Karajeka with 2 seconds left on the clock. Karajeka gets one, though. Can he get that diffuser? No, he cannot. And IDK put that 5th round on the board. A clean 5-0. They play on the defense, and now we switch sides. See if IDK know the way to the 6-0.
This is, I mean, I hate to say it again, but this is really looking bad for Identity. The fact that they have to come back 5 rounds in a row just to go to overtime, which they've already done 3 overtimes, and they're probably pretty exhausted from at this point, and just the sheer dominance on this map of I don't know, it's not looking... I mean, I'm interested to see how their defenses work out, but I'm afraid we're only going to see one, the rate things are going at. So we'll see how at least how their cash room setup goes.
I mean, it's so odd that now we call it like cash room defense an actual, not just viable, but... pretty strong defense.
It's more even more confusing to me that Gym Bedroom is one, because Cash at least had been kind of tried in the past, going all the way back to. I actually remember even Mythic trying it in season 1 of year 1, once with Mew. Of course, but
back then
it was just no. That was a roam. Sorry, they weren't trying it on defense. Now that I'm thinking about it, but still, it was like you can't hold that room normally. I mean, the revamps that Jeremy's done has been fantastic for this map in terms of making, I would say, every bomb site viable, but somehow Bar became just knocked all the way down to 4th. Got the short stick, which is funny because that's actually the section of the map that probably got the most changes overall in terms of all these different walls and a brand new room of the bathroom. It was kind of funny to end up in the position it ended up in, but either way, I'm sure people will figure out some good defenses for Bar as well, and we'll see that be a viable 4th bomb site to an extent. But it's nice to have 3 that work fairly well. I mean, Gym Bedroom, I still think is if you attack it well, it's not a great bomb site, but it's nice to see that the Impact Nade trick can help a little bit with that in terms of securing Hot Tub a little better. But nonetheless, like I said, there are some good counters to it, which we don't see a ton of just yet.
All right, we'll see how Edenity played this. They need every single round of B1 to take it into overtime. And if they don't do that, then you know what? It's all Ogre. They might have the possibility to qualify to the Paris Major by, you know, basically residue at that point. The top 4 teams at DreamHack Valencia, if they are all already qualified to the Paris Major, then that gives the winner of this matchup, obviously already a slot, but the loser as well will get a position at the Paris Major. That is all to be played at DreamHack Valencia next week.
Tell you what, though, I'm looking forward to the opportunity for Edenity to be in Challenger League. In repeat, I don't know success story.
That's for sure. There's so many teams to, like Death Throw, there's Edenity, these are Motion Gaming, these 3 teams that very much have a lot to show. Even Method, that have been just waiting around to go through. T3H as well.
End as well.
And Gaming, yeah, exactly. There are and Ents. We can't really forget about them, right?
Yeah.
There are so many teams in EU Challenger League. It is literally a league of its own.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be an interesting one. Unfortunately, I think a lot of the good Challenger League teams from NA ended up in Pro League. So, oh, there's a little bit of weakness there. They didn't reinforce that wall. Some opportunity to make this happen. Surprisingly, a minute and a half in and no one's died just yet. And they have control of Bedroom and Construction. And that is usually the sign that this defense is about to go kaput.
Yeah, this is the kind of attack that IDK have very much well rehearsed. Instead of doing what everybody else does, which is push garage, push the balcony, they'll push through the bedroom. And more often than not, there's either no one or maximum one roamer that is waiting around from there. We'll see the run in here as Meepy has already gotten one with the AR-33. From the side is Leon Gids to get into the goo mine and get one, but Shepard playing on the stairs. Joystick coming around from the back. He will get spotted, and Lackey will have to fall back. Repositioned to go for the fight, but that'll be Joystick to win it on the Jaeger. So the site is almost open here as Meepy will get one to clean up Shepard. We'll see the diffuser being set as Joystick roams back onto the site, and there we go. They'll close it up. Leon gets with a final kill, and IDK will know the way, and the way from the UK to Paris. It's coming home. It's coming home.
There we go. Well, that is how you close it out. When you're getting tired, you go, you know what? It's over, boys. 6-0 time.
Flawless victory.
Fatality.
Finish him. Let's go.
Friendship. the rainbows are the cutout dolls, right?
Oh, boy.
Either way, though, 6-0, that is how you just...
That's how you demolish your opponents.
Now, the thing is, though, if they're going to end up going to Paris, and I mean Edenity, if they are, you have one thing to work on. Clubhouse.
Yeah.
Because they showed so much good play on those other 3 maps. They